Alpha One Studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast on a Thursday with Mike and Jay and Big E. Mickey's here. How you doing, buddy?
Quite well. You, sir?
I'm doing well, yeah.
Yeah.
The Wings won yesterday or 2 nights
Life
ago.
is good.
Whatever it was, yeah. No, yeah, I'm having a good day, I suppose.
You weren't outside at all. On
No.
Wednesday.
Again,
yeah, you don't
wanna
sound
know-
outside.
no.
Dude, it snowed.
Yeah.
I
yesterday.
again would like to ask, what defines a good day for you compared to a bad day?
Making it to here in this
So,
moment.
Walking 20 feet?
Yeah, makes it a great day. This is a great day, E.
I just wanted to know, like, what is the definition?
That's actually a good question. Eh?
Like,
I'm
every
a
day
very
we sit
simple
there-
man, E. I'm a simple man.
Oh, you
I don't
are?
require much.
His pizza warmed up just right.
That's right. Any day that I don't have to leave the confines of my house is a great day.
Didn't have to do laundry today. He had, his favorite socks already.
Do you do laundry?
Sure.
Okay.
What?
God, I never thought about that. Does Mike do
I
laundry?
seriously
I
wondered
guess he
if Beth
does.
did
No, Beth won't stop doing it. She doesn't want to enable me.
Imagine his laundry just filled with jeans and hoodies.
That's right. That's all it is. No, it was like 30 below out today. So
Yeah,
No,
there's no
that
reason
sucks.
to ever go outside on a day like that.
absolutely not. Anyway, enough about me.
Enough about the weather.
Yeah. I got a, dare I say, a big show. What are you going to say, E?
Nothing. It hits me every day that when we ask you how your day is, you said you do good. It just really strikes me as what
Well,
technically.
it's just a common. It's just like
I know, it's what people
It's a way
say.
of saying something so that people move on, but you assholes refuse to just move on. Let's just
We're
do
actually asking
our
you.
gratuitous. Yeah, good. It's
Oh.
great.
The
My
fir-
day sucked. What do you want me to say?
That's the
My
funny
days
thing.
always suck, but it was good. Good.
Time is very, very valuable on the show, Mike. We do not waste a second.
That's
ever.
right. Sure.
Okay, everything has a point. We're asking you seriously how your day is.
Can we
So,
just get to a point, bright line time, where we all walk in and just go, "Hey, E, how was your day? Good. Yours? Good.
Oh,
why?
Jay, how was
why
your
do we
day?
do that? Why? Why would we
That
even
is-
bother?
That is literally my
it's
biggest
just-
thing that I hate the most at being places like where Mickey, because we haven't. Oh, never mind. I don't know if we told him that he works with me, but
Yeah,
places
he's here.
like that, I fucking hate people asking me because it's so stupid.
Gratuitous,
and no one
right?
cares,
Gratuitous,
right?
yeah.
no,
Yes,
we're
how's
not
the
going to
weather?
do gratuitous shit on here,
Hey,
Mike.
if we're not going
If
to
you
say
ask me
bless
how
you,
my day was, I'm going to really think about it and answer honestly.
if we're not going to say
But,
bless you,
but
then
what
why
if
are we
the
going to?
person asking the question doesn't really give a shit?
Then don't ask it and don't answer.
So what do we just walk in and go, "Hi, hi"?
Exactly. That'd be fucking
Dare I
great.
say a big show?
Weird. That'd be weird if I went, "Hi, Jay," and you went, "Hi, Mike."
I
Hi,
would
Michael.
love that.
And
dude.
neither of us asked like, not that I care, but how was your day?
I've told you that.
Tell me all about it. I don't care, but I asked. So
See,
go ahead.
that's the tricky thing about that question. I know you don't care. So every day I'm kind of like, how do I get out of this?
I've told you that.
How do I move on from this? I mean, it was good, Mike. I had a good day. And then
Well-
if you notice, I quickly usually toggle it to E. E, how about you?
Well, here's the
I
difference.
throw
though.
the potato over there.
I blame you guys because you know what my day's like. So don't ask.
I
Don't
don't- that-
reciprocate.
That's why I
and
don't
don't
ask.
play the game. I ask you, Jay, because there's a strong possibility you're going to tell me your wife left your son at a bus stop and he got a fucking ride. Like that's
There
never
is
going to happen in
variety
my
to my
existence.
day. There's
Yes,
variety.
there absolutely is. So it's a legitimate question that there's the potential to get some actual knowledge or input for a show.
Okay, I'll look at it that
exists.
way.
But you should tell me that your day is X. You can just pass. If you want to pass, just say good. That counts as a pass.
A lot of times it's well to quite well, right in that range.
Right.
So that's my standard kind of day. But if it's outside of that, I'll be sure to note that.
And and that's all I'm looking for. But I don't expect you to go, "And yours?" Not necessary. We could just move on.
That's sort of like a bless you.
yeah.
Okay.
There you
It's
go.
unnecessary.
I'm letting you off the hook.
Okay.
I've stated this before. We talked about this about a week ago, maybe. I don't know how long it is, but I have stopped reciprocate whatever.
No, you got it.
Reciprocating.
Perfect. Well done.
I've stopped doing it. Like at places where they're like anywhere I
Porky
go
Pig, dude.
at freaking
Reciprocating.
well, whatever. Wherever I go, whether it's a gas station, everywhere I go now, I do not do that anymore.
What don't you do? I don't understand.
They'll ask me how's it, like, oh, how are you doing today?
No,
And
but what is it?
Reciprocate.
Yeah.
Reciprocate?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, but
It doesn't.
Go ahead,
fucking,
Jed.
the point is, I don't say it. Like I don't ask them anymore. I do not.
see,
turn
there's
it
a
around
reason
anymore.
for me to ask you that. How was your day? Could be met with, wow, you wouldn't believe it. Nana wouldn't give me the remote.
Yeah, you're right.
Like there's something there. I'm asking for a reason.
That's a good point.
Because a lot of times you're just an open book. You'll just spill. But
Well,
I don't know what your guys' excuse is for asking me. It seems like a waste of everybody's
well,
time.
I never ask you. If you notice.
Well,
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I'll stop.
you need to
from
knock
now.
that
Okay.
shit off.
I'll knock it
Hashtag
off.
knock that shit off.
Okay.
I'll let you know if anything of substance happened.
If anything different happens.
Trust me, I feel like if something happens in his day, we will know about it.
That's true. I think there's another film festival going on this weekend that I'm
Are you serious?
tremendously excited.
Dude,
Yeah, it goes for a month, dude.
No way.
Well, which is it? Do you want me to leave the house or do you not want me to leave the house?
No, I'm just no weighing that this thing goes for a month.
I think it goes for a month.
Oh,
Now, I don't go to all of them, but
right.
No, I don't mind that you do. I think you should actually. Now that I think about it, but I'm just shocked that they can put this thing on for a month.
yeah,
How many
they
people
do like
show up? Does it sell out?
some of them. Yeah, they
And it's
get
at the
good
Henry
crowd.
Ford,
No, it's at different places. That the one we went to last week, it happened to be at Henry Ford.
and it's all Italian stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's all subtitled.
Ugh.
It's brutal. It's brutal. But people seem to like it. I've gone for a few years now, and they seem to dig it.
I asked it last time about Beth, and I always wonder about those things. I know that there are some people that probably legitimately do, but I always really wonder how many people really like it, as you say, and how many people like it, and how many people like it. You know what I mean?
Beth
like they're-
really likes it. I
No,
can
she
see.
does. I get the opinion that she does, but don't you think there has to be
Of
people
course.
that are there? That
Oh, there's probably a huge percentage that are dragged there like me, and just go because it's not worth
No, but what he is getting at is
yeah,
kind
I
of this.
obligation.
No, these people
No.
who want to be looked at as cultured
Yeah,
and
they just
kind
want
of
to tell
into
people
the
they're going.
European scene.
I
I'm
think it's more people from the old country. They're there to support the old country, is the impression I get. More so than some guy in a beret and homo glasses like
Some
Ease.
hipster dude.
Yeah, some hipster dude. I don't see too many hipster douches there,
Huh.
but I see a lot of like older couples that you can
Okay.
tell are straight out of Italy, and they're just supporting them.
Well, if you
Gotcha,
see that,
country.
they're probably there for the quote unquote right
for the right reasons. Yeah. Anyway, as you mentioned, dare I say, a big show today. We got a lot to get to. We got a jail worker up to shenanigans. We got some issues, and this is coming up a lot, whether it's in Los Angeles on Hollywood Boulevard with the mascots dressed up. They're doing the same thing in Times Square, and some of them are accused of fondling kids.
Well,
You know, what are you gonna do? It happens. Cookie Monster got in a bunch of shit
That's
recently
right.
for fondling a kid, and
He did.
he was claiming it was a mistaken identity too.
Yeah.
He's like, Grover's right there. We're both blue. We're royal blue.
yeah,
Very much the
it's
same.
not Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
And yeah, you see, it's so funny when you see them in handcuffs with their head off, and they're still wearing the body, and it's like, oh my
What do they
God.
call those people? Furries who are actually into that?
The
Like
sexual?
sexually?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, furries.
God. What an odd thing. Man.
What a is that? Would that be scarring to a child if you took Sweet Pie to Times Square and there's Elmo with his head on the ground in handcuffs? Don't you think that would be
Yeah,
scarring
that'd
to
be
a
kinda weird.
5-year-old or a 4-year-old? Be like, oh my God, what did Elmo do?
Yeah, but Elmo in Times Square probably is all dirty and shit, and you know,
Yeah, I don't know.
probably has shit stains all over it. So it'd probably
they
be
kn-
scarring anyway.
Yeah.
Did you hear
It's true.
that? It was so funny to hear about some of those, how they were starting to get pissed at people because they weren't giving them tips. They were taking
Oh yeah,
pictures.
that's a huge battle
right.
over the tips thing. That's not what this one's about. Well,
Okay.
we'll get into it
It's
in a
like
little
these
bit.
asshole window washers that run up to you when you're at a stoplight,
Yeah.
like
I
in
had that
Mexico
happen.
or something. They wash
Oh,
them, and
yeah.
they're like, "What? Come on!"
Yeah, I already washed them.
Well, squeegee dudes, those are big in New York, right?
Yeah, New York, what they're famous for is you'll walk down the street and there's all kinds of people that are selling their CD,
Right. Right.
and they'll be like, "Hey, what's your name?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm Jay." And they'll have a Sharpie and they'll to Jay, blah 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 blah, and they'll autograph a CD to you just by asking your name, and then you're like, "Thanks," and like,
I personalized it, man.
I can't sell that to anyone else. Now it's
Asshole.
been personalized for you, Jay. and they'll tweak you out of $20, $10 or so. Yeah, total racket. So if anyone asks you what your name is in New York City and it looks like they're holding something, don't tell them. Don't tell them. You're going to be stuck picking up the tab on their shit CD. A lot of them are blank, by the way. There's nothing.
Oh, that's it. You know what?
I know.
It's shady no matter what, but at least, God,
Please give me something.
give a product out, even if it's not even your music. Just give me an old Eminem CD or something.
We've got some other things to get to. A fired Popeyes worker, but God, man, if anybody's watching the news, Freddie Gray. Ooh, this is
Interesting
a powder
story.
keg is about to go off here. Yeah, it's getting bad. Of course, Freddie Gray is the 25-year-old kid
Baltimore.
in
native,
Baltimore.
right?
Yeah, that was arrested and went kicking and screaming, literally. And they ended up throwing him in the back of that police van, and he died. He severed his spine, and everybody's going, "What? Oh, it's crazy. I don't know what happened to him." So the police are saying, something happened to him, man, in the van. But I don't think there was anyone in the van with him or something. So,
But didn't you say yesterday that they picked up another perp at some point?
yeah,
When they were interviewing
but
him?
that was towards the very, very end,
Okay.
like when they
when the
called
guy's already
ambulance.
like incapacitated.
We'll learn that at some point. But now they're starting to dig into these cops and get all the information they can on them, and the streets are riotous at this point. It's turning into Ferguson. It's just a powder keg, and you're just waiting for that spark to blow the lid off this thing. And you're hearing the same things you heard before with the whole, no justice, no peace, Black Lives Matter. That whole narrative is being played out, and they're demanding justice now, which is just kind of ironic that you don't want to rush to judgment when
You don't know what justice is unless you know the facts, right?
exactly. And that's kind of because I'm torn on this. To me, I look at this story and I go, that sounds fucked up. Unfortunately, if you grab a guy off the street and arrest him and he's in your custody, he's your responsibility. You can't have guys just dying in your custody.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously something happened, whether he wasn't seatbelted in the van and you were slamming on there were rumors that they were locking up the brakes and sending him tumbling.
Is it possible that he flailed about, just went nutto?
Of course. That's absolutely.
You
and
see
he was
these people on cops all the time, just cranking their legs against the window, trying to
smashing
break.
their heads against the window.
It
It wouldn't surprise me at all if some guy that angry, that mad, the injustice of being stopped.
And when
whatever.
you've got a 4x5 foot area, you can do a lot of damage to yourself if you're just diving around.
If you're
and-
slamming your head back, who knows?
Yeah.
But the cops are really pushing this story like, hey, he was talking, his legs were moving. People are going, clearly he was injured by whatever the cops did first. I mean, his legs barely work. And it's like, really, you fucking professional commentators? We see that all the time. There aren't many perps who get picked up on the street and are just like, well, sucks for me, and just walk along in custody. It's commonplace for them to be howling in pain or dragging their limp legs behind them because they're not going to play ball with you. They're going to make you carry them into the van. Doesn't mean they've been fucked up or fucked with. It just means they're not going to play ball. That happens every day all over the country.
Right.
But this idea that you've got mobs of people and there's going to probably be a trial. The DOJ is looking into this. They jumped on it right away and got behind this thing going, we need to know what happened. We've been interviewing people.
Took statements right away from 5 cops.
Yeah. They've got a black mayor, a black police chief. I mean, like all of that, those things that you want, that you claim to want, transparency. Anybody that knows, and Jay, you can speak to this more than I can. You don't go with whatever is going to go on at a trial. If there's going to be a trial, whatever the prosecutor is looking at, you don't go and hold that in the public court.
Right.
That's just not the way it's done. So this idea of getting a riotous mentality, screaming no justice from the rooftops, like they've done everything that I don't know what they want them to do. I don't know what they're supposed to do. And this whole fuck the police, people have these giant banners, fuck the police. And it's like, how about we find out what really happened? You're going to know.
Right. Demand answers. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Hey, we demand a full investigation. Give us answers.
Yeah.
They want react once you understand what the facts are.
They want all six. We want all six. They want all 6 of these guys thrown in jail. They want them thrown in jail. They want the cops jailed. Like no trial, no nothing. They killed a black kid, racist, throw them in jail. And it's like,
Yeah, that's
okay, that's
just crazy.
That's just not how the system works. No offense. And so today there were press conferences being held, and you had a black lieutenant there. You had a one of the lawyers from the LEOBR, I think it is, the law enforcement officers. Name of it. Anyway, it's their, they're the representatives for them. And then you had the guy from who represents the whole the president of the whatever the
union,
the union, yeah. And he releases a statement today to the press, like you do a lot of times with press conferences. Here's what's going to be covered in the press conference. He gives them a sheet, and in it he says something to the effects of this. It's scary what's going on. We need all the facts to come out, all the usual bullshit, blah blah blah. But what we're seeing on the news every day and comments from people, it's not safe for officers to have this lynch mob mentality in the streets, right? And you would have thought he meant lynch mob as in lynching black people. Like, they peppered this guy. He's sweating bullets. He's red-faced. He's literally sweating bullets and wiping sweat off his face for 20 minutes of a press conference while you just hear reporters screaming up, so what exactly do you mean by lynch mob mentality out there? So let me clarify this. When you said lynch mob, and he's going, finally, after 20 minutes of this, he went, okay, maybe I should have chosen a different word.
He meant it completely in the opposite, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. He was like, nobody wants a rush to judgment. This idea that we're just going to have this lynch mob mentality, I don't think, that's what it is by definition. And I'm already seeing commentators going, this is reprehensible that he would even use a term like that. And blah, blah, blah. Lynch mob mentality, by definition, by the way, is a group of people who want to attack someone who they think has committed a serious crime. No trial, no nothing. Fuck him. He's guilty. We've decided he's guilty. Go after him. That's a lynch mob mentality.
Yeah.
And so by definition, I don't know what other word you would use.
Yeah,
Rush to judgment.
You should have said torches and pitchforks.
Would that have worked?
Yeah.
A witch hunt?
A witch hunt would have worked, yeah.
But
then the Halloween characters get all pissed off.
Yeah.
You got Frankenstein and
Gypsies
witches.
Don't take kindly to that.
They don't. No,
so,
you got to be a little more, I don't know, savvy than maybe using lynch mob, but I get it. It's not a problem here. He used it in the opposite. He's not referring to anyone black.
Yeah.
And he's not referring, to what traditionally would be a lynch mob concerning a black guy.
And he's left because
let's think for a minute before you.
Yeah, you would think there'd be some proofreading going on before memos were sent were sent out to the press. But you know what the press is doing. My problem with it is I know what the press is doing. They're being dicks. They're looking for a soundbite. They don't give a fuck what his intent was.
Yep.
So
he stepped in it.
He said lynch. It doesn't matter what else we said. It doesn't matter what his intent was, what he was trying to say. It's like, no, they don't give a fuck if Baltimore burns to the ground. As long as they're on the ground with cameras rolling,
totally
let it fucking burn. Who gives a shit? So if they can do their own little job of inciting shit, they're going to spend 20 minutes on a technicality and try to make this an issue, make this an issue, make this an issue.
Reminds me of the friggin' elections, which just kill me, and they're getting rolling here. Any little word that a candidate says, it's just off a little bit, and all of a sudden it's run with for a month. And nobody just steps back and goes, really, dude, what do you think that person meant?
Yeah. Can we all be adults here?
Yeah. It's just
we have
technicality. Run with it.
Yeah. No worse was what's his name, who got buried. We're going to Washington. We're going up.
Who was that?
God damn it! Why can't we think of his name? Fuck, dude. Picture him.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
it doesn't matter, but we all know who we're talking about. It buried him though.
Yeah,
done. Politically done.
Yep.
Being a little excited at the podium.
Can you believe he went? That's not presidential.
That's Howard Dean.
Thank you.
Yeah. Howard Dean. Anyway, it is getting scary out there, and you're seeing stuff too when I'm watching these people in the streets in Baltimore. You'll see 10,000 megaphones, nobody listening to anybody, and people just screaming at the top of their lungs whatever catchphrase they can. People dancing in the streets. I saw people dancing in the streets with megaphones, and it's like, this is a party. People are turning it into a party, and it's sad. And then this happens, immediately it's like, send all the white guys with camera crews, send them to the middle of it and get people on the ground. And so they're just walking through the fields, interviewing people. You know, it's like, I'm here from CNN, I'm live. Send it back to you, Wolf. I found an irate Negro who's really upset. Sir, what do you have to say? And it's like, stick a mic in his face.
Yeah, just let him go.
And let him go. And nobody really cares or is listening to what anybody's saying. It's like, just get a camera there and film the madness.
Yeah.
And so the circus is already taken off and they're running with it. And so who was it? Miguel Marquez was on the ground for CNN, and he ran into this interesting character on the streets.
I can only imagine. I'm so excited.
Seeing right now.
Very much with the protesters. These young men are incredibly angry about everything happening.
Motherfuckers ain't taking this.
Literally.
Fuck him. Fuck you. Fuck them. Straight up. Fuck CNN. We here. Straight up. Straight up.
You can see there is a lot of emotion running through the streets.
A lot of emotion. Some reasonable young men
Moving on
expressing their viewpoints.
North Street, which is a very
we're on North Street.
Thousands, perhaps 2,000 people. They marched first to the Western District Police Station, and then they marched over to the area where Mr. Gray was taken into custody. The last time he was seen standing, basically,
They've got "fuck the police" signs behind his head.
7 days later, there's one small group of protesters here.
I'm just going to keep rambling and maybe we'll forget that he said "fuck" 20 times on our air.
As you can see, they have shut down traffic in this area of Baltimore. So they say that they are
Dude, this is infuriating, for one. But two, you're right. Like,
I want to see what Brooke says when they come back.
I apologize for that.
Apologize for that harsh
Look at these
language.
Now, Miguel.
Do you like that?
Real nice.
We
Yeah.
will kill straight up.
Straight up, yeah. We
nice.
will kill straight up.
That's nice.
Some young men just stating their arguments, stating their objections.
They're having reasonable debates taking place on the streets here in Baltimore.
Inviting a debate. That's all these young men are
just
doing.
trying to open up a dialogue.
So this is the equivalent of what dude do? Well, what he said was, what did this young gentleman do to find himself lying supine in a public thoroughfare?
Dude, wait, real quick, I still don't understand how TV. Yeah, I could just go always back to morning radio, how it gets hammered for the idea a slip up and there's fines and and how someone on CNN though can sit there and allow
in the middle of the day,
right? Say fuck several times, and then even forget fuck. I don't even think fuck isn't as bad as someone then into the camera saying we'll kill somebody.
Yeah,
a fucking death threat in the middle of the camera.
He got 10 fucks. Good for him.
Yeah, he kind of grabbed the microphone.
Oh yeah, fuck CNN.
What was
Fuck you. Fuck the police.
What's that
Can we
guy
play it
gonna
one more
do?
time?
Yeah.
I need to hear that one more time.
What's he gonna do, Jay? You think that guy's gonna say,
Right.
"Hey, excuse me, I'm trying to do a report here." Excuse me,
Yeah,
man.
he's not gonna fuck with anybody there on the streets. It's like, I'm lucky to be walking through this.
Could they send a smaller, couldn't they, like a white, like he's the most skinny white dude down to the.
Yeah.
You know, we lost our opportunity to get E over to Ferguson. Let's send his ass to Baltimore right now.
Yeah.
After
I'm
the
up,
show.
dude. I'm up for
Make
it.
it bigger too. Can you make it full
Seeing
screen?
right now.
Very much with the
there's no more
protesters.
square
These
into
young
the-
men are incredibly angry about everything happening.
Motherfuckers ain't taking this.
Literally.
Fuck him. Fuck you. Fuck them. Straight up.
Real quick, back this up real quick. There's a guy in a wheelchair
As you can
protesting
see,
in the background.
Maybe that's why he's in a wheelchair. Because of the injustices of the police.
As you can see, there is a lot
That's a
of
kid
emotion.
in a stroller.
Oh, even better.
Play it
Even
again.
better. They've got a kid in a stroller at the shit.
My God, sorry.
Incredibly angry about everything happening.
Motherfuckers ain't taking this.
Literally.
Fuck him. Fuck you.
No.
Fuck them.
Yep, you got a wheelchair.
Fuck CNN. We here. Straight up. Straight up.
You
And then
can see there is a lot of emotion.
There was a person in a
A lot of
wheelchair.
emotion.
They're just laughing. I mean, it's one guy's just laughing.
Shut up, E. I know.
You can see there is a lot
Anyway, that's my favorite video ever.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Oh, there's
What did this gentleman do to wind up with a severed spinal cord? That's the question, right?
That's dude. Yeah,
That's the question nobody gives a shit about right now.
right. No, it's party time. They were talking about guys on motorcycles doing wheelies up and down the street, high fiving each other. It's like,
Yeah, it came to our town. Woo!
Yeah, the party's on.
Now
man.
we have an excuse not to do anything.
Excuse just to be fox.
Call in for work tomorrow. Huh.
I mean, I don't. It's too bad that it gets to this point, and you know, there's clearly nobody interested in solving any problems or working on these things or having real debates. It's like, just get into the mess of it, find the loudest asshole you can find, put him on camera, which doesn't invite him to just go over the top, right? Why would that? If you're going to put him on national television, of course, people play to the cameras. That's what happens.
This whole news cycle bullshit just throws gasoline on it all.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
The division in this country. And
yeah. And it's only getting worse.
And, yeah.
The hatred. We'll kill them all, or whatever he said at the end there. Like, the fact is, homicides in Baltimore are down. Any number is bad, I suppose, but they were at 350 a year back in '93. They were at 200 and something last year. They've been at 60 for this year. So I mean, the homicide rates are going down, and yet you would think, if you just looked at the coverage of this stuff, that the whole thing's going to explode, and rightfully so. This injustice has to stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, nobody gives a shit. And honestly, what if the story is that he's in the back of that police truck and slams his own head against the wall?
I was going to say,
in a fit of rage.
It's not implausible that that's what happened.
It's probably more likely that that's what happened. And even if it's not, but the fact is, if that was, you could have video of that and show that video, and it would still be, well, fuck it, what the police hassling for in the first place?
Exactly.
Like,
dude.
it doesn't, like,
they'll back it up one step.
Yeah.
And blame them at some point.
Yeah. Why did they have to chase after him if he was just running away? Is it a felony to jog?
Yeah.
Like, you can't win. It's like and I almost don't blame the people on the streets that are going through this, because if you're going to keep sticking up, it's for the first time people give a shit. People are paying attention to them.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about what you're doing in the ghetto. So usually there's not a camera on this this fighting that goes on between the police and this element of society.
You now have an opportunity to say what you feel. And you see that, dude, that was just raw emotion. Fuck you all. Fuck you. That's just frustration
pent up.
2 decades probably.
Yep.
That guy feels like the shit's unfair. The system's against him. Here's a camera. Here's the situation. I'm going to express it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that shit, like you say, powder keg, match, boom.
Match. As soon as they see the red light on the camera,
Yep.
it's
got a bunch of people with no hope, and a bunch of hate toward another class.
Yep.
And it's just, here we go.
And that's the most ironic part of it. This is so much more a class division, I think, than anything.
Race.
That's why it's so hard to bring civil rights violation charges to prove that someone was targeting someone and violated their rights only because of the color of their skin. That's very hard to take a group of cops and just go, we know for a fact that you targeted this guy because he's black. Like, that's, you're just not gonna, that's not an easy case to prove. But anyway, so
Boy,
yeah, that's
this thing's going to be the big one, as you say, going for the next week or two.
And lastly, and we'll move on, the true injustice to me is hearing these people, like we said, like digging into these comments, trying to take them out of context and use them to fuel the fire. It gives us better sound bites. And like, that's the story now. The story now, when I was watching this afternoon, is this guy dared put the word lynch mob mentality in his press release. So, he must have been thinking about lynching black people because that's what a lynch mob is. And it's like, no, you motherfuckers. And that's not what he meant. You know that you're taking that completely out of context, spinning it, throwing it in his face. He explains it, and then you throw it back in his face 50 more times.
Yeah.
Like, that's the relevant part of this story.
Yeah, it's like the media just goes, I'm just gonna leave that right there.
Yeah, keep pushing it. Push it.
Just put it right there. Go, everybody.
Consider this a lit match. We'll just see how long it takes before this goes boom in everybody's face. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And then more outrage. Now, this actually is reprehensible behavior. We've got in Seattle, Jerry Moon's family.
Oh, this is reprehensible.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. I wouldn't care. Honestly, I wouldn't care about this, but I can understand how other people might care about this. Jerry Moon's family opened his casket for their final goodbyes 2 years ago. They were shocked to find a stranger in the casket.
It's a commercial for cremation, dude. Right here.
The Washington Funeral Home that handled Moon's funeral service had inadvertently switched his body with that of another man who had died in the same hospice on the same day.
It's just a vessel, righty?
Dude, yes. You're just saying, I mean, you're just saying goodbye to a dead body. What does it really matter who it is? Just throw a freaking doll in there and say, hey, bye-bye, Dad.
I kind of agree, but I can imagine if I walked up,
what would be the difference?
Tears in my eyes.
Ideally, though, you'd want the right body in there, right?
Ideally, but what would be the difference between that and a mannequin?
Well,
one's
a dead
actually
body
the dead body of your father, and the other one's a
But
mannequin.
you're saying goodbye to your.
Dude,
you're saying the idea.
Believe me, I'm all for just like, hey, you know, do whatever you want with me. It doesn't matter to me.
I get it, but you're right. I mean, no, ideally, you don't want it to. I mean, I get it, but.
You really should have the bodies right.
It is like when you
tag them or something.
It is like when you get a new car, though, or something. Do you give a shit what they do with the jalopy? You're just getting rid of it. It's like, yeah, fucking throw it in the junk pile. I'm done with that vessel. That vessel is of no use to me anymore. Throw it off a bridge. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I'm done with it.
Yeah, but that vessel wasn't your dad.
True. Fair enough. So anyway, even worse than that, though, they say the mistakes, worse than the mistakes, were the efforts the mortuary employees went to convince Moon's loved ones that they were wrong and that people look different in death. And that's my man.
Now that's ridiculous. The idea that you would try to convince them. It's like, yes, this is your dad.
They were poo-pooing the long-held belief that the customer is always right.
Well, I gotta say, this is the one thing where I think you could say, yeah, this isn't my dad.
Dude, you know what though? You've seen dead bodies in caskets?
Unfortunately,
I've only seen a couple.
Yeah, they're brutal.
Boy, they don't look like themselves.
No.
So if you've got just some old ass dude, I don't know, man. You know, me and Mike might look pretty similar dead.
I don't think so. No,
we could.
One of you is very in shape, and one of
I could get all puffy. You never know.
Maybe if you got dropped off a cliff and swollen up, you'd look like me. But
no, really, dude. Like old man.
Old man. You're
two
right.
Old men, balding
old
old men, white guys.
One was 72.
Oh God.
One was 96 and had a full head of hair. The other one was bald.
Oh,
you know, whatever.
I mean, well,
what are you gonna do?
You never know, Mike. Death does crazy things to the body.
So what happened was they picked up the bodies of Moon and this guy. Excuse me, I said he was 96. He was actually 97.
Oh,
his name was Robert Petit Clerk. Petit Clerk.
Well, whatever now.
We'll just call him Mr. P. So Mr. P is 97 with a full head of hair.
And he's the one who's in Moon's casket.
Yeah.
And Moon's family is like,
Moon was supposed to
be. Moon was bald.
They're going, no, that's Moon. People look different.
I get
really?
it.
Did they grow a full head of hair in death?
I get it. Maybe a little makeup, maybe a little rouge to bring some life out of the cheeks, but full head of hair, really?
The guy's like, fine, take him in the back and shave his head. It's Moon. God damn it. He'll be back in a minute. Give us 5 minutes. We'll get Mr. Moon back here for you.
You want a bald guy? Fine. You can make him bald.
He just half-ass slap a bald cap on him, shave his head real quick. So they picked up the bodies of Moon and Mr. P. Their bodies were not immediately labeled. The idea that they label us. They take a Sharpie to our feet.
I know that is
Jay.
Toe tag.
That's a little odd. Not odd, but it's weird to think about.
So they were not immediately labeled, and when they were, an employee placed the wrong label on each man. So it was like Mr. P, meet Mr. Moon, and they fucked it up. Another employee transported the mislabeled remains of Moon to another site for cremation. The mislabeled remains of Mr. P were transported to the Brown mortuary for funeral prep. So Mr. P was a real private guy who wanted to be cremated. Mr. Moon was deathly afraid of cremation.
Oh no, dude!
And he was
so big lawsuit, right? Big lawsuit.
Is that a problem? I mean, does it really?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. You're deathly afraid of what?
I know.
Well,
that's weird.
In
to me.
death, that you're deathly afraid.
Why would you care?
Well, Moon did. You'll have to ask.
I mean,
Moon,
I can understand.
Moon's family in their lawsuit, I'm sure, are expressing how much he cared. Right?
Yeah.
He would talk about it all the time.
Every day he'd mention it. He's afraid of fire. Deathly afraid of fire.
Right. In random conversations, he would just bring up, heaven forbid I'm ever cremated. Make sure there's justice.
He wouldn't go near the stove.
Avenge my death.
Yeah, it was.
We tried to roast marshmallows once. He wouldn't do it.
Was it Red Riding Hood where they stuffed the person in the stove?
No,
the two
dude,
kids.
that's
what am I thinking of?
Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah. He wouldn't even watch Hansel and Gretel when they came on. Moon was cremated in Mr. P's place, and Mr. P was embalmed and dressed in Moon's clothes.
So that's awesome. Mr. P wanted nothing of anything public, and here he is in front of like 200 people, right?
200 strangers with his lush locks and some
Looking like a
strangers
champ.
looking like $1 million. He's wearing some guy who's 20 years his younger. To him, it looks like some creeping normcore clothes.
Well, that's right, because the family gives the clothes they want him, right?
Yes. Meanwhile, he's probably 2 feet taller than him. He's got floods up the ass.
Mortuary workers like, whatever.
Just make him fit. Just Carl, however you got to make him fit. These are his clothes.
Yeah.
He's got just
sucks.
swimming in his death clothes. So during Moon's funeral service, his family opens the casket during the service. And they're like, who's this guy?
My God, that would be kind of.
I mean,
that would be a little weird.
She's so creepy because you're all like kind of reluctant anyway, right?
You're hoping it looks good.
Dead guy,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay my final respects. I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Who's that? And they're like, oh no, that's your
No,
dad.
they look different in death.
No, they don't. This is a horrific experience for the Moon family, but the attempted cover-up was even worse. They tried to disguise Mr. P as Mr. Moon and bury him without anyone noticing. Ooh. Reps for the mortuary, who have been provided with 60 pictures of Moon in the time leading up to the funeral, tried to convince Moon's family that it was his body in the casket. The mortuary refused to refund the bulk of the money. This guy had in advance, like 16 years earlier, had paid like $5,000 for a casket and limo, or the hearse
headstone and all that shit.
Yeah, he paid that 16 years ago. And then they hit his wife for another $9,000 when they were there. They still don't know what those charges were for. They were Moon's family was ultimately given some remains that were alleged to be Moon's cremated body.
That is
they have no confidence at all that it's actually Mr. Moon.
So what did they just do out back and put some dirt in the thing and say, hey, here's your dad?
They just went to the ashtray out back and dumped it into a bag and went, yep, here you go. Here's a little to-go bag for you. They just wrote Moon on the bag and handed it to him.
Moon. Some guy just went out and smoked a pack of cigarettes. And
thank you. I'll be taking that. Just wrote dad on the bag and handed it to him. Here you go. Here's your dad. That's brutal.
So big lawsuit, right? They're suing. And
yeah, well, Mr. P's family settled already. And Moon's family got the bag.
I got to be honest.
Yeah.
How do you put a dollar figure on Mr. P's embarrassment having to be publicly displayed?
Wearing some weirdos' clothes.
This is good news, man. Like, I hope this happens to me, because think about it. He's already dead.
His family gets a windfall.
Right. He's already dead. It sucks. You went through a little discomfort, and now you got some money that you weren't expecting.
Holy shit, that's a great point. This is great news for the Moon family. It's great news for both families. Yeah. I wish this would happen more often.
Right.
Mr. P expected no one to be there. All of a sudden, he's got 200 onlookers hanging out, chilling with him.
Best case scenario.
Dude, I could only hope that the funeral home would misplace one of my loved ones and I get some extra money at the end. And be like, oh, I'm devastated. Great. Although the problem is they read back to this podcast. They would
you'd ruin it for your family.
No, you're right, man. You're looking at this shitty bill like, fuck, not only did my mom die, but now I've got to shell out like $15,000. And then this windfall occurs.
All of a sudden, for a couple hours.
Stroke of good fortune.
Yeah. I think the best part for them was not that Mr. P was wearing the old man's clothes. I think that they torched him. That's where I think the money comes in. If they can really convince a jury that, dad was deathly afraid of fire. He had to have other people light his cigars for him. I mean, he was a mess. And the idea that this funeral home put him in a burner is outrageous.
Yeah, no, dude, that'd be a fun one to argue. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's like, how do you prove that he's been somehow harmed because he's already dead? Like,
well, it's all this emotional distress to your family, Like, look, this is what he wanted. We wanted to go to a grave site. And see something tangible, and now you've scraped up your ashtray and said it's my dad. I don't believe you, number one, and secondly, that's not how we wanted our dad.
Yeah,
the funny thing
is, we wanted to pay our respects and say goodbye.
You could really build this up,
lay it on.
Deal. You could still just, even with the ashes, can't you still just put a stone in the ground somewhere and say, this is where he is?
Totally, but you wouldn't admit that.
Just dig a hole.
This isn't good enough.
Yeah, you wouldn't do good on the stand if you were trying to win money for your family.
You could bring in some religious thing, against our beliefs to be burned up.
Yeah.
dude, you could really break this
The
open.
more I'm thinking about it, the more it's like
We wanted to bury him with his favorite watch,
the idea of
and now that's
The
how,
more I'm thinking about it, we might want to have an inside job ready to go.
Yeah.
When one of
Right.
us suffers this loss.
So what you're saying is essentially if I could pull it off, like if something happened unfortunate to you, I should take E out
no,
on the same day.
well, we don't want to be. Please don't mix me up with E.
Well,
No,
okay.
if we suffer a death in one of our families, we need to get inside and get
right.
the guy who can make this happen.
Gary, the
if you
dead
know what I
body
mean.
expert.
Right, get a
Gary,
maybe
the
he
dead
knows
body
somebody
expert,
that
can
I
knows
mean, we'd have to
that.
sue Gary, but you know,
No, he doesn't do it
No,
anymore.
he could just
knows
he
somebody
would
that
know somebody who
would
know
know
who to
somebody.
talk
make
to,
a little
right?
switcheroo,
A little switcheroo.
give him a little
exactly.
cut on the back end.
There you go. If we're willing, if we've got some money up front, we could reroute some Kickstarter funds.
Yeah.
You just need a little front money to make it happen on the back end.
I like the way this is going. I
It
mean,
could take a couple years to
Again-
recover any sort of settlement or judgment, but if
Yeah.
we're willing to ride that out, it's an investment.
I'm
This is
willing
a
to ride that
positive
out.
story, dude. This
It
is.
is.
I don't really see. Honestly, I don't see
All
anything
right,
negative.
look, realistically, Nana's next to go, right?
Probably.
Okay, Nana's next to go. Probably Lynch and Sons funeral home up there, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Probably.
All right.
Holy shit.
All right, I've got an insider there, to be honest.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I do.
No wonder because you actually knew the name.
Yeah.
That's the reason I could tell. But.
Like, yeah, my cousin is from up there,
Oh.
and we know some people. So
don't name names.
Wait, no,
Don't
let's
name
not.
names.
Let's take this off the air, Tom. Let's move on.
we got this, dude.
Nobody show the cops this tape.
Right.
If this goes down like it's going to be planned out, you guys are all in on this.
It's good for everybody.
They'll all get
believe
a
me.
dollar or something. I don't know.
We'll spread the wealth in some sort of way. A
We'll
big
spend-
party
We'll
or
spend
something.
it wisely.
We'll spend it by keep giving you an entertainment show 5 days a week. How about that?
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing how we're able to see the good news in
It's just-
almost every story.
We're eternal optimists, I think. That's why people listen to us.
the Detroit Cast, looking at things with the glass half full. Always. I mean, that should be
Always.
our motto. I mean, that's just what we do here.
Sunny side up, baby.
Now we've got a pregnant Popeyes chicken worker who was fired.
Oh, this is brutal, dude. This is really bad.
Well,
Here's the reality of at-will employment. Stark, right in your face. Listen to this.
well, she worked at this fast food joint, Popeyes Chicken. It was robbed, and the shift manager said she got fired for refusing. She claims the shift manager fired her for refusing to pay the money back.
Now, Jay, I got a question because I know he's about to read this whole story. If that was a real thing, if I really was at the gas station, I got robbed,
Yeah.
I let them have the money. Could they? I know you said at will, but could they really fire you for not
Totally.
really?
Yeah.
They can fire you because
For
the
any-
sky's blue.
That's right.
If that was the reason, though, I mean, could they limit? But
They
okay,
could totally. There's nothing illegal
I
about
would
that.
take
They could
that.
be like, dude, you didn't handle that situation right.
I
You're
would-
out.
I
Here's
would
the-
take that.
Here's the video if you want to see.
Oh shit. Can you imagine how
That would be horrifying. So he comes in, he orders everybody down on the ground, and then he grabs this chick, and he wants her to open a safe, and she's like, I can't get to a safe. So she opens the cash registers and drains the money for him. He gets about
as
$400.
any reasonable person would and should do,
Yes,
right?
yes, absolutely. She's 5 months pregnant, by the way.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
The heist happened. It was captured on surveillance video. We just saw that. You see, so her name's Marissa. By the back of my shirt, he pulled me up and he pushed me to the front. He told me to give me everything out of the safe. She was only able to open the registers, so the gunman got $400. She claimed one of her managers gave her the choice: either pay back the money or get fired.
Jesus. No, real quick. I know you said they can, but man, I got to be. That's not really the right choice PR wise.
Well, here we go, right?
Right.
It's a national story. Fucking idiots.
Like, how could you
That's
take $400?
that's the consequence of making a choice like that.
Yeah, you mean to fire her?
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem, though. This is her side of the story.
Okay.
Her side of the story is I got fired because I refused to pay back the money.
Okay.
HR is saying, yeah, for about the 10th fucking time, we've told this idiot not to leave that much money in the registers. You have to take it out of there,
Okay.
put a certain amount in the safe. You're not allowed to have more than X in the register.
There you go.
And
Okay.
so that's why she was fired. She was fired because she could not get her shit together. It's happened multiple times. So for her to go screaming to the press, they fired me because I'm pregnant and because I got robbed at gunpoint. No, you didn't get fired because you got robbed at gunpoint,
Didn't
idiot.
follow
Nobody would.
procedure that led to a big loss.
For the third time, they've had to tell you about the procedure because shit like this happens and they don't want to get taken.
Well, this is
So-
great news because Popeyes is going to fill that position with a better manager.
Absolutely.
Someone's
That's
getting a new job.
That's true.
That's right.
And she's going to learn a lesson.
well, probably
this is-
not because someone like her probably won't. But
Yeah, right. It's everybody else's fault, right? So yeah, she argued it was a busy day. They offered a 2-piece chicken for $1.19.
Wait, no, what?
Wait, what?
They were offering
Like as a parting gift?
no. That day, that's why she wasn't able to empty the registers because they were so busy
Oh, okay.
because they were selling 2-piece chickens for $1.19. I bet it was delicious. Oh shit. So I guess a lot of fast food places have this policy about how much money there is
Oh
in the
yeah,
till.
I'm sure.
This is little comfort for Marissa, who is not only unemployed but pregnant with her 4th child.
By the way,
Four kids.
Yeah,
You have
and,
4 kids. You're working at Popeye's Chicken.
and I gotta be honest. You know,
It's grim.
if you have the,
Ugh.
you don't have the
You shouldn't have
ability.
4 cats if you work at Popeye's Chicken.
You say out of a job though, dude. Can she really not find another fast food job? Like, it's not like she was, you know,
Right.
a rocket
Not
science.
with that
thing.
on her permanent record, E.
Well, she's answered your question. I mean, who's going to call me? I'm 5 months pregnant. The fact that I got robbed at gunpoint, it's like nobody cares.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Well, maybe you use a condom once in a while.
Hey, at Zatford, they believe life's all about choices. And that's precisely why they want to give Detroit Cast listeners all the choices they can. So for a limited time, you can lease a new 2014 Fiesta, 2015 Focus, or 2015 Fusion for just $149 per month for 24 months. Sure, they may not have the choice that K-Dog is an asshole or that the King has a stainless steel gavel or even that Webster refuses to leave the house. But you do have the choice to come visit your friends at Zot Ford and take advantage of these crazy deals. So the choice is yours, Fiesta, Focus, or Fusion, all for just $149 per month at Zot Ford and Holly. Please check out their massive inventory and sweet deals at zotford.com. That's SZOTT.
Hey, before we get to break, out of Denmark, we got news out of Denmark. And I found this news interesting for a couple reasons. Denmark has outlawed bestiality.
Wow.
No longer
Finally.
are you legally allowed to bang a
What?
sheep in
This is
Denmark.
outrageous.
Slow down, Denmark.
Yep. In a 91-75 vote,
Holy shit. By a hair, they outlawed bestiality.
yes, Danish lawmakers approved banning sex with animals. 5 people abstained from voting.
I just got to sit this one out. I don't know how my sheep will react to this,
I don't know what's going on.
what my herd will say to me.
The law proposal had been introduced by Denmark's farming minister, Dan Jorgensen, who wanted to tighten the law on animal welfare and protection. He said offenders must be made aware that we find maltreatment of animals absolutely unacceptable. This is reprehensible behavior. Denmark's somebody, like, we've talked about this before, like when you take nudity or toplessness, full toplessness out of strip clubs, like it's gone because nobody's going to stand on the platform of, and we will, if I'm elected, bring full titty nudity back to the titty bars.
Right.
Nobody's going to run on that platform.
Yeah.
You get rid of it, it's fucking gone. It's over.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I mean?
I demand full nudity at the bars with alcohol service.
Thank you. That's all for me.
Honestly, that might be the reasoning in these people who are voting against that, as they look at this like it's this stance, and we don't want to take strong stances against personal rights. It's probably looked more broadly as that. Like, oh yeah, everyone can agree that we shouldn't be banging sheep.
Yeah.
But, we don't want to take this strong stance against what people should be allowed to do in their personal life. And blah,
they
blah,
own
blah.
that animal. And it just seems hilarious that you'd have a vote that's that. You would think, even if it was like 100-3, you'd be like,
Oh,
who are
good.
those 3 holdouts? But you're probably right. 91-75 with 5 people going, I don't want any part of this. I'm not even voting.
Yeah, there's a broader political reason, I'm sure. Something's rotten in Denmark.
Well, Denmark's Animal Ethics Council had opposed the law, saying existing laws which allow bestiality, except in cases where the animal can be proved to have suffered, were enough. Those were enough.
this kind of goes back to Eve's
argument.
thing.
Exactly.
I mean,
Well,
people
did he
are-
suffer? You don't know that he suffered.
you don't
Prove
know.
it. Prove
You don't
it.
know.
Prove it.
I mean, we know he'd hate to be punched in the face, but
So now a person found banging a sheep, a goat, a horse, pick your animal, can now face jail time or fines.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know where the silver lining is in that story, but
Denmark joined the 21st century, and I don't know.
What do you think? Should that have just been left alone? Didn't need to be? Because I feel like people that are going to bang animals aren't going to listen to the law.
That is a good point.
Who are
Who's
you
going to
targeting?
be like, well, I was about to hump this goat, but
God
Yeah.
damn it, they didn't make it illegal yesterday. This sucks. What am I going to do now? I got to go find a real girlfriend. This blows.
Right. You're probably right.
It's like making drugs illegal. It's not going to stop anybody, but now it's just you got to find someone for it.
God.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and I got to be honest, Jay. I think you're going to have trouble finding the silver lining in the next two stories.
Oh, we'll find it.
See what you can do.
We'll find it.
We'll see what you can do.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey there, Detroit Cast listeners. It's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zott Ford and Holly. It's April, and you know what that means. Spring cleaning. We have too many F-150s, and they got to go. Right now, get over $14,000 off a brand new 2014 F-150 Super Crew XLT 4x4. So, while supplies last, get an F-150 that stickers for almost $49,000 for just over $34,000. Do the math, because we all know Big E can't. That's over 30% off a brand new F-150 at Zott Ford. Friends, hurry in. With a sale like this, our supplies won't last long. Check out our incredible deals and our massive inventory at ZottFord.com. That's SZOTT.
Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Welcome back to the Detroit Cast on a Thursday with Mike and Jay.
Welcome back, Mike. How was your break?
That was good.
Good. Mine was too. Good.
Yeah. We got a lot to get to yet. We did get a call, and I'm fascinated with it because it's someone that went on a ride along.
Yeah.
Yeah, fellow
Cop
cop.
right along. And
Yeah.
Mike has that outstanding offer extended to him by Officer Mike.
Yeah. Let's see.
So let's hear about this.
Chris?
Guys, how's it going?
Oh, good. How you doing, dude?
I'm really good. Got out of work early, and I thought I'd call you guys. Love
Yeah.
your show. Listen every single day at work.
Oh, thanks, man.
Get to do about 2 hours of work. It's awesome.
Thank you, Chris.
Excellent. I hear
But
you.
yeah, I want to say.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I heard you went on a ride along.
Yeah, and I want to thank you because you kind of motivated me, and I don't want to call you lazy, but
Thank
you were
you.
talking about it early last week, and within 3 days on my weekend, and when I'm off, I called Friday, and I was on a ride along Saturday.
Mike has a way of doing that, motivating people to get out and do shit.
Hence the cult leader
Yeah,
tag.
Yeah, I went out with the Livingston County Sheriff for about 6 hours, from 6 to about 7 hours, 6 to about 1 a.m. It was pretty interesting.
So did you have some connection with these guys, or you just, hey,
No,
man, I'm a
no,
member of
my-
the public?
No, my brother's actually going. He's about to become, well, he's either being on a state cop. He just passed the exam or whatever, and he lived down in Arizona. And his brother-in-law is a cop. He said, "Yeah, anybody can go. You're a taxpayer. All you got to do is call." I made one phone call, and they
Wow.
You fill out a legal form, which is kind of crazy because it says you can lose your life and they're not liable. You sign your name away, and you're on the road, just like that.
That's awesome. Just as a taxpayer.
Wow. How many people did you get to shoot?
None. So I did get to go 130 miles per hour, which was pretty scary because we hit a dirt road, and as we're approaching the dirt road, I'm thinking to myself, he's going to slow down. And we just hit it, and we were on our way to a guy who took an ATV up on a dirt road going 55 miles per hour. He had to get medevac. He had to get two of them, had to come fly him out of there. We were the first ones there, about 5 feet from him. He was bleeding from the head, and it was wild.
So were you able to secure the perimeter?
Kind of. We were there, and once
Good
all
work.
the other authorities showed up, we were walking off the streets, and they moved my car down, and the guy said, "Yeah, just hang out here. If anybody comes, send them on their way." And people were coming up and talking to me, and I was just, hey, directing traffic, and it was awesome. It was pretty cool.
Dude, it sounds like you didn't follow protocol, though, Chris. I don't mean to call you out on how what technique you use when you're out on patrol, but I think if someone's bleeding from the head like that, you're supposed to put them out of their misery. I'm pretty sure that's kind of like common knowledge. I mean, really, but
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not
I
going to
didn't
tell
know
you how to
what do.
police. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, but
But no, it was funny. It was funny though, because all weekend I was, just acting like I had authority with my wife and stuff. And we saw cops the other week, and I said, I was waving to them, and there go my guys, and she was getting all mad. And it was a good time though, and I would highly recommend it. The guy was super cool. No question was out of bounds. He could ask me anything you want to know, and they were all friendly. And we went to lunch later in the night with some other guys, with some other officers, and it was pretty neat being on the other side. That's for sure. Pulled a couple people over too. It was pretty cool.
did you get to go up to the car and like tap on windows? Or?
No, they wouldn't let me out of the car, but he was showing me all the stuff on the computer, and he let one girl go, and the other guy got a ticket for speeding. He had a pistol on him too with the CPL, and he was showing me all that.
Oh, you got to shoot him. Yeah, he's got a pistol on him. So you didn't pull your weapon, but obviously someone took that perp out.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, man, I just want to say you guys do an awesome job, and yeah, like I said, every night at work, I got you guys on, and just really,
Thanks,
really
Chris.
Really love the show. Tell everybody about it. So keep up the good work.
Hey,
And, hopefully you go on a ride along, man.
Yeah, I will.
Hey, dude, one last question. The nature of your badge, was it a sticker or the
Oof.
real thing?
No, I was going to tell you that. So when they took me in, they actually took me on a tour of the jail first, and we were in this like hub where they all meet, and I was signing the paperwork, and I tried to get a picture. He had a giant roll of the sticker badges, and I kept telling myself, please don't give me one. It'd be so nice if you didn't offer. But he had them there. I was just cracking up because I was thinking about it.
Adhesive badges.
Yeah, no, that's not going to fly for
Yeah.
me. I refuse to take the beat
No.
with the sticker badge.
I I was not taking the sticker badge like the guy on that show you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, the express, whatever. So. But yeah, man, by the way, you have a great phone screener. He's just awesome.
Oh yeah, you got to talk firsthand with Big E, who answers the phone.
pretty
Hello, like, what do you want? Who are you? Fucking
I didn't know
idiot.
about the number because he just said hello. Like it was a home phone. Like, hello?
Yeah, we're actually.
Yeah, but
I didn't know what to say, I guess.
How about?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling the Detroit
Didn't
Cast.
know what to say.
Wait, I don't know. It's
Hi,
different
you've
for-
reached the
Freaking
Detroit
retarded.
Cast.
Without a call letters, I guess I didn't think about it. I don't know.
You need call letters.
I
We
guess.
do have a name for the show.
You're
Hi,
right.
you've reached the Detroit Cast.
You're right.
Simple.
You're right.
God, hello. Ugh. Nan, I'm on the phone. All right, Chris. Thanks for the call,
Thanks,
buddy.
Chris.
all right,
Appreciate
guys,
it.
have a good night, man.
You
Yeah.
too. See you, buddy.
Talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
An informative call for sure. That's good.
Absolutely.
That's inspiring.
It was until the end there. I'm a little worried about the sticker badge. I don't know how I'm going to deal with that with my fellow Leos. If I see that, if I
think you
even
just say
see
no.
that
I think
role,
you just say no.
yeah. I mean, you can't have a bulletproof vest and a sticker badge. No. Oh, anyway. Thanks for the call, man. That was cool. Yeah, that is a little inspiring. I'm excited.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
130 miles
What's
an hour.
the plan of action?
The plan of action is I'm going to
Action
take
steps
care of
here.
it, and I'm going to be on the beat soon.
Okay. Well, I've got your emails in a stack right here. I've got the
I
whole
know.
thread. So whenever you feel like
How much
acting
you don't
on
worry
that,
about
Just like you had them yesterday.
yeah, and the day
Shut
before,
up, he.
they're
How about as
highlighted
a-
appropriately.
How about as a solid producer, you go and book that like normal producers would? He.
I don't
He's
think
not
I
sure of your availability.
I don't.
Yes, he is. Always. Just put in the books.
Fine.
Always, except between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m.
Okay.
Got
I'm
that?
kidding.
E?
I'll
Leave
do
it.
it.
I don't want them thinking I wrote it. I'll write him. I'll write him tomorrow. Expect my email tomorrow,
Officer Mike.
Yeah. All right, Jay. I think you're gonna have a hard time finding the
Silver lining.
yeah, so to speak, in the next two stories. I'll let
Okay.
you know. I'm looking for it too. We'll see. Jurors spent only about an hour deliberating before convicting this Oregon woman of killing two handymen and feeding their corpses to pigs.
Oh God.
Yeah. Why is it always the pigs?
People eat the shit out of anything, man. I
Really?
think they'll devour the whole damn thing.
Are there other animals that'll do that? Like
I think
boars or
goats will eat pretty much anything, but pigs, I think the
like
nature.
bone?
I think so. I think they'll just break it up and fucking eat it.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're disgusting.
Dude,
Pigs
I
are gross.
I feel like there was a huge story in like Australia or New Zealand, and I think it inspired a horror movie where a farmer was doing that. Just
Yeah,
feeding
there's been
random people to pigs.
many movies that have touched on that.
Gross, dude. Just
feeding-
God, that's partly why I hate sharks so much. Just this idea of another animal eating part of me.
Oh,
Oh,
you're allowed to eat other animals, but they're not allowed
yeah,
to eat
totally. I'm on top, man. On top.
you. You're on top because you have guns.
Well, and opposable thumbs.
That's right. That's right. You can give a lion a gun. Pretty much worthless.
What's he going to do with it?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he could eat it, but he's probably not going to get it. He's not going to pull off a few rounds on you. So yeah, she apparently fed their corpses to her pigs. The jury found Susan Monica guilty of murdering two men about a year apart and then abusing their corpses by feeding them to pigs. The judge, Tim Barnack, immediately sentenced Monica to a minimum of 50 years in jail or prison. You shot two people and fed them to your pigs. I don't know how else I can put it. You valued pigs more than you value people. Stephen Delicino was killed in 2012. Robert Haney, Mr. Haney,
Mr. Haney.
Mr. Douglas.
Well, Mr. Douglas.
Mr. Haney was killed on a farm and fed to pigs. Was it Arnold? Was Arnold part of that?
Arnold, yeah, dude.
Yeah, Green Acres, right?
Green Acres is the place to be.
The farm living is the life for me.
The acres stretching far and wide.
Give us acres now or something.
Give me that countryside.
Penthouse living is. Yeah.
Holy hell.
You don't remember that song?
I remember it from.
Dude, the
Like
only
at
time I
night,
watched that
but-
damn show is when I was sick
Sick.
at home.
It's the only time
Channel
anybody
20
watched
and
it.
50. It's like, can you imagine watching that otherwise? That was brutal.
What was on after, like Petticoat Junction?
Petticoat Junction. Yes, dude.
Oh, I hated that
Those
show.
are brutal. It's like, just give me the Beaver. God damn it, get to Leave It to Beaver.
Or The Price. You could go.
Oh,
with
well, the
too.
price was at 11 o'clock. You got that done, and then you kind of
Yeah.
just had to lay there and watch Days of Our Lives or something.
Yeah.
Until Green Acres and Petticoat Junction.
Mhm.
Yeah, wow.
And then
Before-
you're through. You've broken through. You got Leave It to Beaver. Then we've got Gilligan's Island coming on. Brady Bunch. We dovetail into all that good
Yeah.
shit.
the choices were poor back then.
Dude,
when it
you
came
had-
to
they
TV.
were. I didn't know,
TV.
though. See what my game plan was always when I got to Green Acres, it was like, is there a way to finagle this that I'm feeling better and maybe I can make it for the second half of the school day so that I can get the evening to go play? Because I was under strict house arrest.
Whoa, dude! You were trying to get back into school.
No,
Only
First
so I
course.
could gain
gotcha,
recess
but
and the fun after school.
Fuck, I never, ever wanted to go anywhere near it. If it was my day off, that was my day off.
But then you weren't able to hang, or were you able to leave the house, or were you on house? were you
No,
put
but
on
I was
house
all right with
arrest?
that. I was all right just laying around watching TV. Check this out, though.
But you were really sick. I was faking.
No,
it.
I was faking it too. Would your mom put the vaporizer in your room?
No.
No, you didn't have a vaporizer.
I could totally see your nurse mother
Dude,
putting a vaporizer
yes,
in your room.
you know what I'm talking about? One of those
Yes.
big round plastic.
Did she put a towel over your head and make you breathe it
No,
in?
no. But she put it in the corner of my room, so the vaporizer would be going. The Vicks vapor shit
Yeah,
in there
yeah.
would be smelling up the room, and I'd be watching Green Acres.
Wow,
man.
your mom
It's
loved you more than
yesterday,
mine
dude.
did.
I could, if you gave me a smell of that Vicks, dude, it'd take me back like that.
I think I have some of the balm that you're supposed to put on
Oh,
your
that's-
chest.
That's gayness.
Or
You
put
ever
it
do
under
that?
your
Ian?
nose.
What? No.
Yeah.
That's
all-
kind of gayness, isn't it? Yes.
All
my
I ever
vapor rub.
gathered was it seemed like when you had the days off, it seemed like how much faster, like all of a sudden 2 p.m. or whenever high school would be done, it was like boom when you were at home compared to how long it seemed like when you were at school. You know what I mean?
No, because you actually got to sleep off those tough hours in the morning. You know, and
Yeah.
typically you'd be at school at 7:45.
Yeah.
You were sleeping till 9:15.
right.
So then you're getting up, you're having a little toast because that's all your stomach can take. Try toast. I'll try one, Mom. I don't know. I'll try.
My tummy. Oh.
And then all of a sudden you're to the Price is Right and you're golden.
Hell yeah.
man.
Once you
you're
get the
And you're
Price is Right.
loving that shit.
Yeah,
You're,
it's
bid-
smooth sailing.
you're
once you hit the
bidding on
price.
freaking, lawn furniture and shit. I mean, it's great.
Dude, Price is Right for sure. I agree that when I was a snow day or a sick day, it meant that you could watch The Price is Right to me. That's what it meant to me.
The beauty of that show is it was an hour.
Yeah.
You know, not many game shows were an
Huge,
hour. It was
huge.
fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Haney, Mr. Douglas,
Haney.
he died in 2013. Monica asked for sentencing as soon as the jury was dismissed, saying it doesn't seem to matter.
Wow.
Yeah. This case will be appealed. Monica was changing her stories.
There
You know
go.
how that goes.
Doesn't help.
About how she shot Delacino and Haney never matched the forensic evidence. This turns into a literal kangaroo court. Some of the things that I read about this.
So there were literally kangaroos and they're deciding.
Not that kangaroo court, but you know
I
what
thought
I
you
mean.
said literal.
Like,
So-
well,
Yeah, he did say literal.
I meant literally a kangaroo court in the sense of a courtroom where it's like all bets are off and people can just randomly go, Your Honor, I've got some evidence you need to see. Where it's like, well, let's take this guy at his word. What do you got? Bring it forward.
Bob
Like,
Jones, bring it up.
yeah, some guy just
Dwayne
busts
Joe.
in the door and all of a sudden goes, I found the missing documents. It's going to just be admitted as evidence in the
Sure.
courtroom. It's like, well, let's
It's like
have a
an
look.
episode of Matlock.
Yeah, it's going to wrap up in an hour. It's kind of like how this went. So she claimed that Delacino shot himself repeatedly in the head.
Well,
I mean,
to have the wherewithal.
and also that she shot him in self-defense. So first he shot himself
wait a minute.
multiple times in the face.
Which is it, righty?
Right.
Which is
it
it?
can't be one or the other. You're either defending yourself or he was committing suicide.
She said she shot him in self-defense and he was eaten by her pigs before she had a chance to bury his remains
Yeah,
on
I mean,
her
she meant
20
to.
acres.
I've got the silver lining, by the way.
You do? Okay, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Monica said that
Mr. Haney.
Mr. Haney disappeared in the summer of 2013. She said she came on him a month later. So it just so happened that Haney goes missing. A month later, he wanders up to her farm, and
Not her fault.
Later on she finds the pigs were disemboweling him,
Wow.
and so she shot him to ease his suffering.
Okay.
She later questioned whether he was alive when she shot him, so there's some discrepancy there. He might have already been dead when he was disemboweled, but either way, she was just looking out for him. The defense attorney argued there was no concrete evidence to rebut Monica's claims that she shot Delacino in self-defense or to show that Haney was actually alive when Monica shot him. Some of his remains were found in plastic bags in her barn. You know, it happens. What are you going to do? A forensic anthropologist testified that Haney's legs had been chopped off with an axe.
Jesus.
Fuck, man.
And the thigh bones showed signs of being gnawed by an animal. Yeah, and then it gets weird. She couldn't determine whether the axe blows came before or after Haney died. I'm hoping it was after he died, not before.
For Mr. Haney's sake.
Just because Susan Monica is different and strange and weird does not make her a murderer, Jay.
Very true, Mike.
At one point during the 6-day trial, Monica herself cross-examined the sheriff's detective, Eric Henderson, who was the lead investigator in the case, despite having her own defense team.
Oh, that's awesome.
How can you do that? I wouldn't think you could do that. Just decide to cross-examine.
I guess,
Your Honor, I would like to take this time to cross-examine a witness.
Dude, my favorite cross-examination by a defendant was in a subway murder case. You guys, it was just kind of an obscure case. It was big in the news media at the time, but this is back in like the 90s. And there was a guy who was defending himself. And I distinctly remember, like, he had a witness on the stand. He's like, okay. And she was a traveler on the subway, which he allegedly shot up and killed a bunch of people. And he's like, okay, so what did you see then? And she's like, well, I saw you walk in and shoot those people. And he's like, well, hold on, Your Honor, and he's like asking for like some, and she's like, what? It was you. I mean, it was you. He's like, all right, well, let's refer to me as the defendant. He's like getting all super technical. And she's like, okay, I saw the defendant, you, come on the subway car and shoot people. It's just ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
Like, dude, you're not getting anywhere.
Does that ever go well?
No.
Does it ever go well? I would think it never would, but people still try it. That's hilarious.
I saw you.
What did you see then? Well, I saw you.
Could you see it? Like, was his face just when she said it right away, kind of like, well,
yeah. He was like, oh, what do I do now?
So then, as she had, while she's in jail, one of her cellmates has a birthday. And so she's a nice girl. So Monica writes her a card and says, from the sweetest murderer in Jackson County. That's how she signed it. They brought that up, and they brought this chick to testify.
What, they don't know sarcasm when they read it?
Yeah, exactly. As the judge addressed the jury before deliberations, Monica just stood up on her own, raised her hand, and began asking for the chance to give jurors one more demonstration to show that she claimed how she shot this Delacino guy. I'd like to demonstrate how I shot him for 10 seconds. I held the gun like this. And the judge is like, okay, enough. Order of the court. Take her away. And they drag her
away. What a nutbag.
Yeah.
All right, here's the silver lining.
Okay.
Those pigs eat a human being.
Yep.
That's going to render some substantial chops. Okay. If
I see
you're
where
a fan
you're
of the white meat.
I see where you're going. So they're going to plump up the pigs.
Yeah.
Would you eat that piglet, though?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that piglet
Gross. Imagine part of the tissue you're eating is just, comes from eating a dude.
Ew.
Mr. Haney.
Poor Mr. Haney. And then this one, it's going to be extra hard to find the good news out of this one. We got an ex-con who told cops he fatally stabbed his ex-girlfriend, then cooked and ate some of her.
I've got the silver lining already.
Right.
I've seen the picture of the girl, and it's probably better that she's gone.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's a shot. A little
Yeah.
bit of
Dude, have you seen the picture?
No, I have not.
Gotta look at the picture.
The reason this is hitting the news again is because he's also, thank God, he's been charged with rape now. So just wanted to get that on the books. His name is Joseph Aberhansley from Indiana. He's charged with murder and abuse of corpse in the death of 46-year-old Tammy Jo Harbin last September.
Hey, but Joe,
is this by any chance the dude that smeared feces all over himself in court a couple weeks ago?
I don't think so. I would think they would reference that in the story, which means there are multiple people eating people.
Right. Wow, look how evil that guy looks.
Yeah, he looks like he's been in some scuffles.
Yeah. Check her out, dude. Check her out. Check him out, her, whatever it is.
She looks like a lot of things. She doesn't look delicious.
No.
she looks plump. That's what I was just going to. What do you mean? She kind of does.
I don't think I'd want to eat her or any part of her. No offense. No offense to her.
She might render a delicious thigh.
Well,
but not a delicious face.
So they took some they did some lab work on her, and that's where they found out the rape thing. So like, oh, add this to the mix. So that
before
they are
or after her death.
He was this guy after her death. Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, did he rape her? I'm not sure. They didn't say. He was convicted of manslaughter in 1998 in the shooting death of his then 17-year-old girlfriend, Sabrina Elder, just days after the birth of their son. He served 14 years for the crime and was discharged last year, July 23rd. On July 31st, Tommy Joe Blanton posted his bond for him on charges of criminal recklessness and resisting law enforcement stemming from a car chase. So he's out of jail a week, and he's fucking in a run with cops. And so she bails him out. And then September 11th, she calls 911 around 3 a.m. to report that her shitty boyfriend is at her outside her home and he would not leave. So they come and they send him home and all that shit. Around 10 a.m. that morning, police get another call, this time from Blanton's co-worker, asking them to perform a welfare check after she failed to show up for work. Police found that the back door had been forced open. Inside, officers, they discovered Blanton dead in the bathroom, blood everywhere, with fatal injuries to her head, neck, and torso. The front of the victim's skull appeared to have been crushed, and brain tissue was splattered throughout the bathroom. They found a plate covered in blood and bone, as well as bloodied cooking utensils. He confessed to forcing his way into the bathroom, where she'd locked herself in and repeatedly stabbing her. He told police he then used an electric jigsaw to open her skull and parts of her, and then eat parts of her brain, heart, and lungs.
Jesus.
Silver lining, Jake, find it.
Again,
He's off the
fact
streets.
that this guy is
he's off the streets, right? That's a good one. Yeah, he thinks he's like committing the perfect crime. Yeah, the cops are gonna get called on me the night before. She's gonna turn up dead. I wonder who they'll look at.
Yeah.
Ex-con just out of jail. There the night before.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Well, the good news here, this is great news. This is great news. That young child is going to grow up and get a shot to not grow up with this asshole.
You're right. He's 14 by the time he got out of jail the first time, right?
Yeah.
Man.
So this kid's going to get a shot. I mean, it's not a great silver lining, but it is a small lining.
It's not a great shot, but he's got a shot.
Yeah. It's a better shot than he would have had with that as his dad, right?
That animal prowling
How would you like
around.
to argue with him about anything? Doesn't seem like he handles problems well. Speaking of not handling problems well, were you ever a fan of Gary Glitter?
No.
Me either.
Dun, 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 hey. Dun, 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 dun. Stupid.
Is it weird that song is still played in arenas?
Given that he's a pedophile?
A humongous pedo.
Wait, that song is who's it by? Is that
Gary Glitter?
really?
Yeah.
And he's a pedophile who made that.
You've never heard this, dude?
No, never.
You've never heard what? That he's a pedophile or the song?
I've heard the song for sure. And
See if you can find.
He's jammed along with it with a painted face.
I have
many times.
Right. I did not realize
That's got an E to his feet.
What is
many
it?
times.
Absolutely.
Oh, hell
Rock
yeah.
and roll.
Rock and roll. Yeah. See if you can find.
Rock and roll.
Hey.
Hey.
Dun, dun, dun. He's known as this great singer, and yet there's no lyrics in
That's
rock
the
and
only
roll
Gary Glitter song I've ever heard of.
that anyone knows of. Yeah. One of his youngest victims has broken her 10-year silence.
Wow, I never knew that.
This makes E want to get on his feet.
You ready?
Yeah, I used to love this at games for sure. Especially back when I'd be in my face painting days.
Pistons are up by 3 with 2:41 on the clock.
Dude, fuck yeah. Yeah, I did not realize that, dude.
Somebody took a 20.
On your feet.
Somebody took a 20.
Right, dude.
We're coming down to crunch time.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Make some noise.
Yeah,
Come on, E. What do you do?
I'm not doing it.
What do, you son of a bitch?
What's he wearing?
Yeah, this is 70s.
No, you're right, dude. I've absolutely rocked out to this at the Palace several times.
Rock and roll. Rock and roll. This is Rock and Roll Part 2. I wonder what Rock and Roll Part 1 was.
I will be honest, though. I always assumed it was just some sort of sports jam that I didn't think it was a real song. Like,
yeah, they made it for Arena Rock. For Jock Jams, the
well, that's
CD.
that's what I mean. That's where I had it on Jock Jams.
You've got
You did not
Jock
own-
Jams?
You
I
did
don't
not
have
own
it
Jock
anymore, but I
Jams.
did.
Oh, boy.
I did have a Jock Jam CD.
Well, this victim of his, she was 10 at the time. She's broken her silence to speak for the first time as an adult about her appalling ordeal at the hands of Glitter. Look at this creep with her there. They blurred out her face.
It's hard to hear the story.
Hey! Hey! Rock and roll! Hey! Rock and roll! Rock and roll! Come on, E. He's got a burning in his loins.
Oh, he's dying to go upstairs and grab some paint. Give me some paint. I need to paint my face. Quick.
It totally brings me back to those 2003 to 2006 or so-ish around the Palace.
Yeah,
for sure.
See him all huddled around the coach during a 20.
Oh. Well, you should. I mean, the bigger one, of course, would be this would start it off, and then you'd have to get a little final countdown into the. Hell yeah!
Oh, I hate Europe.
I love what I like that song. I like that song for the Pistons. I still get chills if I see it.
I agree, man. You hear that,
especially when they have a good team.
And dude, it kind of brings that intensity.
Especially, dude, for sure. When they had a good team going, you're in the playoffs. There's some big moment right there in the fourth quarter, and they play this going onto the court. Fuck yeah, dude!
Yeah,
on your feet, fellas.
Joe Dumars.
Exactly. Fuck yeah, dude.
Rick Mahorn.
Vinny Johnson.
And your captain, Isaiah Thomas.
Dude, I love it, dude. I do love it. I have no problem admitting that to this day.
Bill Laimbeer.
Yeah. Final countdown for sure. I don't know how they chose this song. I've always wondered how that really came to
On your feet, on your feet.
You know what was awesome, dude? You'll know this. Is it Joey when he had his wedding and he had Ken Calvert actually record the wedding party come in and it was to the final countdown? That was pretty awesome, dude.
Yeah. Of course you'd get into that. Yeah, it was pretty cool. He had the music underneath it.
It was cool, dude.
Yeah, Calvert's a super good dude. Very cool guy. Anyway, back to Gary Glitter.
Oh, yeah. Child molestation.
Yeah, I know. Do they still play that song in arenas, by the way, Gary Glitter?
Yeah.
Do they? I'm kind of surprised at that. You would think that'd be as taboo as Cosby right now.
It's not.
But it's just beyond. He described it. It's just a thing that happens. It's not like anybody identifies like, oh shit, that's Gary Glitter.
I do. I think immediately like, yeah, the guy raped kids constantly.
I don't think most people.
I don't think most people think that though. I think most people are like me who don't even have a clue who it is. They just hear it at arena at a game. Yeah.
Well, they just refer to her as N. These victims are just like one letter. So she is, they haven't said her name publicly or anything, and she gave an interview, but she says she was just 11 when Gary Glitter took her childhood. She still suffers flashbacks of the abuse that turned into a virtual recluse. The girl now suffers from dark spells of depression, rarely goes out. I have nightmares about it all the time, and I need to take pills to sleep. She was one of two young girls that Glitter was convicted of abusing when he lived in Vietnam in 2006. The girl told police how he lured her to his beach house where he showed her vile films of adults raping children on his laptop. She was tricked into going to the house by Glitter's then 19-year-old lover, B, a homeless orphan who became his child sex Pied Piper sex recruiter for him.
N and B. That's why we call E.
That's right.
He's a child rape victim, right? That explains a lot. That's really the center of the onion, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
I mean, if we peel it away, we can do this slowly or we can do it fast. Come on, E. Is that it?
Jay and I would prefer to rip the Band-Aid off, but, we can pull that onion slowly. Take time.
No, we'll get there. Not what happened, but
we'll get to that
that's
center.
That's not what happened, but something else did.
He's not ready, Jay. He's just not ready to go there yet.
Episode 327?
I know.
How much further to it? Okay.
I know. So this chick would procure girls for him.
Wow.
Yeah. Glitter, who's now 70, had sex or sexual activity with N 3 times. He paid her $15 each time.
Oh,
he also
fair
raped
market value.
That's what I was gonna say.
He also
straight out of Stockton.
Fair market value. You guys are monsters. He also raped N's friend D, who was sold to him by her aunt for $42.
Dude.
When she was just 10 years old. The prosecution told how a prostitute called O, who Glitter was seeing, brought her niece to stay with him and twice sold her to him for sex. Well, I mean, you can't sell something twice. So she was rented to him for sex, right?
True.
I mean,
if she had
come
been
on,
sold, then
if
it would
you're
be
gonna-
his property, and he wouldn't have to buy it again.
Why is he buying it multiple times? I mean, he's renting her.
Yeah, not going to
Clearly.
the McDonald's buying a burger and then buying the same burger again after you've eaten it.
Yeah, we understand how rent and purchase goes. Thanks for breaking that down.
I just thought,
You go to a burger joint and you buy a burger, and they won't make you buy it a second time.
you know, some people, you guys talk over some people's heads, and I like to make sure that
Appreciate the clarification.
Yeah. When he raped D, O watched on both occasions. That's nice. The three of them then slept naked together afterwards on the bed. And in 1975, despite selling 18 million records,
How?
Why would
because they didn't
people-
have file sharing then. I don't know.
Now that I
mean,
don't get when you hear that an album with that song, like,
because of Rock and Roll Part 2.
I mean, I kind of get that it.
But I mean,
made it
do you
to a
really?
remix.
Right. Okay.
18
To each
million
his own.
records. Yeah, it's crazy.
You know that's when
he
you
was,
look at
he
the.
was bankrupt by the end of the decade too. What are you saying?
Oh no! You know what? No, I was just gonna say when you think about music industry now, how sometimes we do say about certain things getting big or not, and then you think that it always is this idea to kind of sometimes look back that nostalgia was always better back then. But think about that, sold 18 million
Yeah, you
albums.
had to buy a whole album like that.
Yeah.
Like,
End up
oh
with
my
a bunch of shit.
God!
Just to get, dun, 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 dun. Hey!
I mean, we can all hate Justin Bieber and stuff like that, and I do too. But there's definitely stuff out there now where you complain about it. And think about it, that sold 18 million albums.
But if you wanted it, you had to buy it.
Right.
You couldn't
I know,
share
but
it.
I'm
You
just kinda-
couldn't. You know what I mean? Like it was just such a different.
I'm just saying, it just
Think
wasn't
back
all
then.
better back then. It wasn't all just amazing back in the day.
Yeah, you like stealing from artists now. That's way better.
I don't know.
Yeah, that goes to your character.
Yeah.
I don't.
In 1997, November, glitter is disgraced when a computer engineer discovers thousands of child porn images on his laptop. So he's letting this guy service his computer, who finds just a mountain of child porn.
If you got just piles of child porn.
Yeah, but you're so desperate. Your computer's down. You gotta get it fixed because
Yeah.
you've got those piles.
You
Yeah.
can't bring
It's
it-
a burning desire.
He was jailed for 4 months in 99 after pleading guilty to 54 offenses of making indecent photos or taking indecent photos of children under the age of 16. In 2002, he was kicked out of Cambodia after facing allegations of sex crimes. So he moves to Thailand. Good place. Thailand's a good place to go for that.
Isn't that where everybody goes on those tourists?
Oh, yeah. Anybody that tells you, oh, I'm vacationing in Thailand. Ugh.
the sex tourism is that what they
Yeah.
call it?
Oh, yeah. Child sex is crazy,
God, man.
rampant there. March of 2006, he's convicted of sexually abusing 2 Vietnamese girls, aged 10 and 11. He was sentenced to 3 years for that. February 5th of 2015, he's found guilty of attempted rape, sex with a child under the age of 13, and 4 counts of indecent assault. A couple weeks later, he's jailed for 16 years and faces spending the rest of his life in jail. He was facing child rape charges at the time of his arrest, which could have resulted in the death penalty and put him before a firing squad. But he wriggled out of that after paying the families of his 2 victims $2,000 each.
Jesus.
That's compensation. That earned him a more lenient sentence for the child abuse. The victims' families regret taking that money now, they say. Back in Vietnam, it is clear that N is still tormented and deeply troubled by her ordeal. I want to lock myself away. There are unhappy things in my mind. I don't know how to explain it. She's received no counseling at all. Her mom's like, I don't know what to do with her. You know, what do you do?
Damn, dude.
Yeah. What a mess.
What a monster. He's moving around the world.
Yeah,
because
running
of this
away from charges.
urge, You know, this.
But doesn't that just scream there's nothing you can do? Like, that dude's never, he's
Right, we talk
70
about-
years old.
yeah, can you be fixed?
Mhm.
You know, can you? Sure, man. Sure doesn't seem like it.
No.
Just seems like a major miswire.
Yeah. And as long as it's, maybe we'll get to the point in society, Jay, where, hey, you are who you are. And who are we? Who are we to tell you that sex with a 5-year-old is bad? I mean, your urges are who you are. And, maybe we'll get there. I don't think we're there yet. So right now it's socially acceptable to call him a monster. Fingers crossed, in 10 years, maybe it'll be we're the monsters for thinking of him as a monster.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
We may need to temper our views.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Ridiculous. We had mentioned earlier about the people dressing up at Times Square or in Hollywood. We've got a new one here. Some topless chicks are
Nice.
going out and walking around Times Square looking to take pictures with people.
Nice.
And they say they're targeting underage tourists as young as 14 to have photos taken with them. So they're going after little boys, 14-year-old boys. There she is.
Adorned in body paint.
Yep. So
patriotic body paint.
They're engaging in child pornography, says Fumes Brian Mathis, who gives tours of New York City to middle school students across the country. We're fighting an uphill battle. If a kid can get away from you for 30 seconds, that's what they're going to do. These kids have pocket money. They're an easy mark.
Some pretty taut titties.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
what?
Is that the end of the world, really? Some chicks in body paint taking pictures with kids. What kid wouldn't love that?
It's not a lot different than wearing a bikini. I mean, obviously up close, you're getting the view, but from a distance, it kind of looks like a bikini.
So this guy that's in charge of these kids, these middle school kids, he's like, I turned around and he was getting his photo taken. His little buddies were taking pictures of the women. There was no question these kids were underage.
Was this like a school trip? Is that the deal?
Yeah. He does tours around.
I gotcha.
And takes these kids around New York. When I told the girl he was 14 years old, she went, "That's all right. We're allowed to do this." They come in these wild outfits. On Tuesday, 2 Colombian chicks were seen charming a group of high school students cutting class. So they're out skipping school, and the women who didn't speak English sidled up to them, convincing the 17-year-old to dole out a few dollars that he could cherish the moment.
So is this some sort of loophole in the law if you've painted over them in a way? Is that
probably?
To be honest though, it's funny. They're like, pay a few dollars to get a picture. Man, I already seen them from 5 feet away. Why do I need a picture at that point?
Yeah, so you can share it on social media. Let everyone else know what you did.
I know, but
it didn't happen if you don't have a photo of it. You know that, E.
I know.
I'm gonna go on record. That's inappropriate. It's inappropriate, Mike.
Okay, who's the victim? Who's that? Seriously.
Society, Mike. There's topless chicks walking around.
What are you gonna do? They're not really topless. They're body painted, and they're a tourist attraction. If 14-year-old,
done
15,
tastefully.
Like you and I would never go up to those girls and want a picture. But at 14, 15, we absolutely would have gone up to those girls and taken a picture. But I don't think we would have been the victim of some sort of assault for that. So do
you want people naked walking around town?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
I don't, for the record.
Another chick, Sarah Nicole, said some parents give us their children to take pictures with. It's fun. I held a 9-month-old baby for a photo the other day. Mathis countered that the problem isn't the nudity, it's that the kids aren't old enough to consent to the photos. Whether you are a costume Pooh Bear or bare naked, the larger issue is the onslaught of aggressive solicitation and predatory behavior that occurs in Times Square on a daily basis, and it's only getting worse. I'll keep pushing this as hard as I can until somebody tells me to go jump off a bridge.
You know what?
Brian Mathis, jump off a bridge. There.
You know what it appears to be is just sort of a novelty. It doesn't look like a sexual thing going on. It just looks like, the cowboy, the underwear cowboy or whatever the fuck they called that guy. It's the same sort of thing. These just look like
the naked cowboy.
Naked cowboy. He'd sit there strumming his guitar in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
It's just sort of a novel thing like that. It doesn't look like,
it's exactly what it is. They're painted in red, white, and blue. Stars and stripes.
Yeah, and if they do it for 5 more years, the red, white, and blue chicks.
Yeah, it's like they wear
let's go get a picture with
hats. Yeah, and they're all trying to make their mark and take a couple dollars to take a picture with them. I don't know. It seems like of all the things you could worry about, it seems like harmless fun. I mean, at 14, 15, we would have done the same thing, and it was probably going on when we were 14 and 15 years.
But I can totally see why you'd want to outlaw topless chicks. I mean, totally.
Actually, they're making topless chicks legal in a lot of places. Canada, our friends to the north.
Neighbors to the north, we love them.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I think New York, it is legal actually to walk around topless now.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, which is probably the loophole that they're playing to.
Free the nipple.
I could be wrong.
Free
Maybe you could look that up. But yeah, Windsor, you can walk around nude.
Yeah, I think you actually.
Yeah, that's been a while, I think, in Windsor, right?
Yeah, a few years. I thought fairly recently in New York City, maybe even.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just topless.
I could be. Look it up, E.
Oh,
let me know.
Yeah.
Remember the chick she was working at that jail in Oregon, and she was letting that guy out of she was married. She was married to a sheriff's deputy.
Yes, and she's banging all these guys.
In the closet there.
Yes.
There's another one at the same jail. There she's kind of cute too.
Looks like it from that picture. It looks pretty normal. I'll give her
33.
that.
She's 33 years old. She's on trial for having sex with a male inmate at the Washington County Jail 6 times in 4 months while working as a services tech. She's hoping to use the insanity defense.
Oh God.
Because that other girl got 4 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That guy was in maximum security. Yeah. Brett Robinson is her name. She's facing 12 charges related to sex misconduct and official misconduct after letting an inmate out of his cell multiple times and engaging in sex acts with him. The case follows that Lisa Curry was the girl's name. So this girl that this just happened to, Robinson, worked in maximum security control room known as the Bubble. She struck up a relationship with an inmate. The two would talk using an intercom when Robinson's manager left the room. So she's got an intercom that can get into the jail cells. According to the psychologist report, she felt flattered by the compliments she got from the inmate and started to open up to him.
What a loser. Nice life.
How simple do you have to be to fall for?
This is what if he were listening, he would chime in and go, what does she get out of this? I just get, what does she get out of it?
Yeah.
You know, and it's so true, dude. I mean, that's it, I guess. Some emotional thing that a dude could totally not understand, but could totally take advantage of.
Totally take advantage. It's the same thing with the teachers.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that's going on with the teacher where you go,
you're just
why would this teacher blow this kid? Yeah. What does she get out of that besides destroying her career? You know what she's getting out of it? She's getting the affection of someone. She's getting the attention of someone. And that's what it is.
Whoa.
That's not her.
Okay, that's the prior chick.
That's the prior chick.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
All right, go back to the current one.
The rough picture.
There you go. There she is. I mean, you're in jail. You're in maximum security.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that's a no-brainer.
Of course.
He would take the dog next to her if he was.
So in March, this dude made his move.
The poos.
Yeah, look at that poos.
Not ideally, Jay.
This guy makes his move in March. He's like, yeah, it's my birthday and shit. How about you give me a kiss? She's like, so when her manager went to lunch, she released the inmate from his cell, brought him into the Bubble. She thought it was strange that he brought a blanket with him. And so he kissed me so passionately, I was taken aback.
Oh,
what a loser.
Jesus, what a moron. God. What a simpleton.
And this guy is just like, hold the dump in. Like, that's all he's thinking. I asked about the blanket. He said, I was hoping we could go farther and shit. Then he was saying, we don't have time to discuss this. So I had sex with him. So he's literally like, we ain't got time to talk about all this bullshit. Let's get it on. And she's like, okay.
God. How much you must just be craving some sort of person to show you attention, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It just seems weird. Like I guess in some weird way I could see it if some chick's way past her prime and it's like, she hasn't gotten attention from anybody in 20 years. But this girl, she's 33 years old. She's cute. Like, really? You need to,
man.
Why are you even the kid? Obviously, right from the beginning, it's my birthday. Maybe I could get a kiss. It's like even
you've fallen for that.
No, I have not. And even then, like, why does she need to let him out for said kiss? If it really,
she's fucked up.
Well, I mean, I know that. But.
They continued having sex, and then Robinson wrote the inmate a love letter that began with, "Hi, baby." So she's actually thinks she's in a relationship. I'm hoping this letter will better convey the love I feel deep inside for you.
Jesus,
you are a constant presence in my thoughts, fantasies, and dreams, and I feel this pervasive emptiness without you by my side. It makes it hard to go about my daily normal activities when all I do is miss you. You are my everything, baby.
What's he in there for?
I could not envision my life without you in it.
Does it say what he's in there? Did you already say that or no?
I'd
like to know what he's. I'd just be interested to know if this is like a murderer and she's like,
he's in maximum security.
So it's got to be something pretty.
Yeah.
It's not.
Love is blind, E.
The last guy was
you never know where you're going to find your soulmate.
The last guy that was banging that Curry chick, if I remember correctly, he broke into someone's house, raped a woman
Jesus.
while he was on parole or something. And so they threw him in the shithole for years.
How can someone be so fucking I don't know.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I love you so much. Oh, but he's fucking. I'm sure he's wearing a rubber and
he's
probably just coming
like,
inside.
Yeah,
of her.
bitch, whatever.
It's just a combination of like expert manipulation, probably by these guys,
Yeah.
and then just these chicks being ripe psychologically and emotionally.
I mean, it's that that thing where some chick feels like she's not getting enough attention or love from her boyfriend, so she's going to talk to a friend about it.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh, baby, why do you put up with that from that guy? You deserve so much better. You just deserve so much better. You don't seriously have it. Come here, sit down, sit on my lap, sit down real quick. You don't need to take that from him. Why do you do that to yourself? I mean, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous."
She's like, "Why
don't we?
God, he loves me."
You know what? Forget it. Let's go have a drink and let's just drown our sorrows in some drinks, and we'll talk about this. This is bullshit. You don't need to put up with this stuff from this guy. And next thing you know, fast forward 2 hours later.
You've gone through this dialogue a few times before.
I've had this dialogue before.
That's what I was gonna say.
I've lived that dialogue. You kidding me?
Pretty good at it.
Yeah, dude.
So you got it. Which one are you in that scenario?
Yeah, I had some guy talking me off the fence.
Okay, I'll go for drinks.
Yeah, come on, E. You don't have to put up with this from this guy. Come on, you deserve so much better. Look at you with your Lyle Lovett hair and shit.
Will you buy me a beer?
Yeah, come on, let's get out of here. I'll buy you a beer, man. We could talk about this, drown our sorrows a bit. Okay, sounds good to me, Carl.
Next thing you know, E's panties are in Carl's pocket.
I didn't think it would go this way, Carl. Ow, Carl! Ow! This is strangely pleasurable.
That's not me talking.
2 days later, Carl gets a letter. Hi, baby. I am hoping this letter will better convey the love that I feel deep inside for you, Carl. You're a constant presence in my thoughts, fantasies, and dreams or whatever, and I feel this pervasive emptiness without you by my side and stuff. It makes it hard to go about my normal daily activities when all I do is miss you. You're my everything, baby, or whatever. I could not envision my life without you in it.
Whatever.
Or whatever. Baby, are you looking at the moon tonight?
No, he's not because he's in jail.
Oh, poor E. I got to tell you, the Land of the Lost Tribe.
The Land of the Lost. You ever watch that?
No.
Dude, Chaka?
The Land of the Lost?
Chaka no Go.
Oh, wait. Have you talked about that before?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You didn't watch any Land of the Lost?
No.
With those stupid freaking damn it, what's the bad guy's names? E? No. These lizard creature alien things.
Was it a cartoon or?
No, man. Live action was awful.
Wait. Wasn't Lambeer on an episode of Land of the Lost?
He played one of these guys I'm talking about.
Yeah. I remember that. Well, this is an island with amazing beaches, a dense forest. Tourists or fishermen don't dare step foot near this outcrop in the Indian Ocean due to its inhabitants' fearsome reputation. Look at that. Doesn't that look badass?
Yeah.
We've got aerial views of this place too. Visitors who venture onto or too close to this North Sentinel Island risk being attacked by members of this mysterious tribe.
Oh shit! Look at them.
Yeah, who have rejected modern civilization and prefer to have zero contact with the outside world. When they do interact with outsiders, it usually involves violence. The indigenous Sentinelese tribe killed 2 men who were fishing illegally in 2006 and have been known to fire arrows and fling rocks at low-flying planes or helicopters. that guy they showed up there, keep going
with his
up.
Big spear.
That's him firing a bow and arrow at an airplane.
Oh shit!
Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
So yeah, when they've gone on
the Stone Ages,
totally, they've gone on these reconnaissance missions, and these guys are chucking rocks at them.
Yeah.
It looks kind of badass, though. I think I could do that.
Just drop an iPhone down there and be like, "Yeah, check it out." Just FYI, just what you're missing.
Yeah, just fiddle with it, see what happens. So,
it's just drop an iPhone, little parachute. iPhone comes down.
Look at those sons of bitches. Look at them. Located in the Bay of Bengal, North Sentinel Island belongs to India and remains an enigma despite being populated for an estimated 60,000 years. I think people have been there for 60,000 years.
Imagine how inbred those guys are.
Oh, yeah. Untouched by modern civilization, very little is known about these Sentinelese people, their language, their rituals, and the island they call home. It's too dangerous to approach them due to their hostility to outsiders.
God.
Yeah, meaning they are rarely photographed up close, almost never seen on video. There are also conflicting reports on the population. Some say it's a few dozen, some say a few hundred. Look at those sons of bitches.
Sure, yeah. A few dozen. God, just inbreeding over and over and over and over. They probably got webbed feet and shit.
That's a nice set of titties.
Those are not a. That's not a.
It's not a bad set of titties.
No,
you guys are racists. It wasn't a
National
horrible
Geographic shit.
That wasn't a horrible set of titties.
That was a horrible set of titties.
How weird.
Come on, man.
That we're in an age where, like you said, we're on iPhones and stuff, and this is their lives right now. They don't fucking know.
She wasn't over a 2, so don't even try to.
No, I'd agree. I'm just going by the titties. The titties, I'd give a 5.
No way.
What?
The titties were like a 3 tops.
No.
Yeah,
they had a solid C cup, probably, right?
They were like at her belly button.
I think you have the wrong idea of what a C cup is.
I do not have the wrong idea of what a C cup is. I think you're underestimating the power of a C cup.
It was an average B.
Maybe a B. Okay.
Let's back up and.
No, it was not a good set of titties.
No.
God, dude.
Come on. Let's see.
Mike.
Yeah. I was going by this side.
What's she have?
I was going by the side.
She have a Kitterman? What's on her face?
It does look like a Kitterman.
See, like the freaking Lorax.
They were just like weird.
They had a little heft to them.
Dude, if you've never worn a bra your entire life,
that's what happens.
And you just got them hanging there, that's what happens, I think.
It's a sad state of affairs, Jay.
Yeah. It's a sag.
She's young, too.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, look at that. See? She's got a Kitterman, dude.
She's got a sweet
These
Kitterman.
fuckers are so inbred that she's got a Kitterman and what Mike declared a sweet set of titties.
I just saw titties and I reacted. I'm sorry. I overreacted. It's unclear what the impact the 2004 tsunami had on this population. It's close to where that tsunami hit. So they're like, oh, did this wipe this tribe out?
No, unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
Do they use something like that? I wonder if they probably still believe in like the gods and stuff. And all of a sudden,
fuck
like,
yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, they do.
Yeah. No telling what they believe.
So that's when they went on this reconnaissance mission to see, like, is there any signs of life here? Did this tsunami wipe these fuckers out? And that's when the guy was firing arrows at the plane.
I got no.
I wonder what they think.
Yeah, they're still there being dicks.
It looks like a decent piece of real estate. Genocide might be in the future here.
Ooh, you think?
Because it's a nice looking island.
When they're throwing shit at planes, are they just like, what from, like, what the hell is that?
It's like the Kenyan Bushman in that one movie where the Coke can like hits him in the head. Remember that?
Oh yeah, the gods must be crazy.
Yes, dude. Same deal, man.
Yeah.
We're just out in the middle of nowhere.
Totally. No contact ever.
Yeah, they're probably thinking it's aliens.
That's what I'm saying. You're right.
They said
it's a beautiful island.
It's gorgeous. How would they get there?
Well,
who put them there?
Plates and stuff, Mike. I mean,
At some point, some adventurous canoers,
some
outriggers.
That's not. It's got to be how Pangea or whatever.
Pangea.
Pangea. Yeah.
Talking plate tectonics.
Yeah.
What? That land moved?
Yes,
dude.
Are you serious?
That didn't.
It's a geological certainty that land moved. That could have been a piece of something else. Dude, and moreover, the freaking water level might have been different.
Right.
Dude, lots of shit could happen over 1 million years, Mike.
Yeah.
But 60,000 years, we would know if that thing was over here and then moved somewhere else.
Look, it's probably listen. It's probably
they don't have
part
boats.
Of
they didn't fly there.
It's
they didn't
probably
drive there.
part of a. Who says they don't have boats? We know nothing about them.
I don't think they do.
Look at how everything was connected.
There could also be a.
Dude, there could have been a fucking string of islands where some of them got washed away and there's no longer the string.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit, Mike.
Right around here.
I want to see their tax records.
Right off the coast.
Or they could be like mud puppies. They could have crawled out of the ocean. We don't know.
That's a good point.
We know very little about them.
They're often referred to as a Stone Age tribe, a title that advocates take offense to.
Oh.
Yeah, that's very, very offensive.
Kind of are.
Advocates?
Yeah. Who would take offense at Stone Age tribe?
You're fucking shooting arrows at airplanes.
Yeah, and throwing rocks at people like they did in the Stone Age.
Killing anyone who comes near them.
Oh, this PC world is brutal. Brutal.
Like they're just
people
uninformed.
People take offense at references to the Stone Age.
Right.
Advocates. As its members have adapted over time, the Sentinelese may be the most isolated tribe in the world, the Indian government choosing not to meddle in their affairs at all anymore. The government made several failed attempts to establish contact, but they've abandoned all attempts and allowed the tribe to live how it chooses to on an island the size of Manhattan.
No, they will again. That real estate is too prime. I think it's
at some point.
At some point, they're going to take them out with a surgical airstrike.
You know what the surgical airstrike would be? landing on there with any sort of people. What wiped them out before, where it was in the 1800s, and I think the British landed there, and they get like the flu.
Give them some.
And
there you go.
done.
Yeah.
They've had
They have
so
no
little
immune system.
none.
Yeah.
So yeah, you
You could bring the common cold. It'd
you
probably
just go over
kill them
there.
all. Greetings. Greetings, Bushmen. We mean no harm.
Well, you just shook their hand, and now you've wiped them all out. You son of a bitch. Authorities said they couldn't take that. This organization said the Islanders are extremely healthy, alert, and thriving despite threats from the outside world, and they love their old world way of life.
I wonder about their dialect.
It's funny how he says that. Yeah,
I wanna-
exactly.
Do they
dude.
click? Do they click like the
I-
Bushmen?
And
I promise you, they click and whistle.
And you say they like their old world. They don't even know what they like. I mean, they just, the idea that they like this compared to what we are living
like
in.
suggests there's a choice.
Dude, I think it's becoming that there is a choice. What the shit we talk about every day, it's like, I think you just could, like, if I didn't think they'd throw rocks at me and shoot arrows at me, I would honestly just be like, why don't you just drop me off there? And I'll let you know if I need anything, but
You would not do well there, dude.
I probably wouldn't, but it
They'd have
sounds
you on
better.
a spit in no time.
Oh yeah.
Over a fire. You'd be trying to talk your way out of it. Guys, boys will be boys. I get
Common
it.
ground. Yeah, we got it, some common ground. Nice titties, by the way, on you. You look great. No, the one with the Kitterman.
As he's rolling upside down. Oh shit, that's getting hot.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do well there. But I'd try. At least I'd try. It's better than being in a world where people are feeding other people to pigs.
Is it? Because that's exactly what they're
Which
about to
one's
do to
more
you.
advanced? I know, but until they do it.
You literally just described it's
No,
better than
all-
eating pigs to a people that we suggest are going to be eating you. So how
Well,
is it any different?
they're
We
looking
don't
at you
know
like a
that.
pig.
Jay just made that up, you
They're
son of a bitch.
cannibalists,
They
so-
might throw rocks at me until they learn I'm a pretty decent dude.
That's not going to happen.
I could start a show over there. I could have them on as guests. This has got win-win written all over
I'm
it.
picturing Mike as Piggy from Lord of the Flies, standing at the bottom of a hill, getting a boulder chucked on him.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. It doesn't look good for you.
I've got the conch.
I've got the conch. Piggy's got the conch.
The conch.
Does anybody call it a conch, by the way? It's a conch shell.
Every time they said that in high school, I was thinking conch.
It's a fucking conch shell, right?
Right.
Sure.
The kind that you hold to your ear and
Yeah,
you hear
yeah,
the
yeah.
ocean.
Yeah. Or seashell.
She sells seashells.
Sally. Oh no. Who sells seashells down by the seashore?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Who was
She
it?
sells seashells by the seashore.
She.
What do you got?
I don't
She
know.
sells seashells by the seashore. Come on, E.
Doing it.
Come on, you son of a bitch. You're holding
What,
up the show.
seashell- what?
She sells seashells by the seashore.
She sells
Right.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Down by the
right,
seashore.
right. She sells seashells by the seashore.
Down by the
She
seashore.
sells seashells
good.
down by the seashore.
Well done. Perfect.
How much woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
I'm not gonna. No,
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing this.
What do we got for email, Jay?
You have some email. Before we get to that, hey, Detroitcast listeners, do I have some great news for you? Right now, you can lease a new 2015 Taurus SHO for just $293 for 24 months. If you're not familiar with her, the Taurus SHO, she has a 365 horsepower twin turbo EcoBoost V6 engine, all-wheel drive, pimped out leather interior, fat 20-inch aluminum wheels, and all of this wicked style, fuel economy, and roomy interior to boot. So if you aren't already jumping into your current dull-ass ride to head to Zott Ford and Holly, I suggest you do it soon, because leasing a $47,000 Taurus SHO for just $293 per month won't last long. I promise you that. Hurry down, because this deal is only while supplies last. Zott Ford is in Holly. Get there. Don writes in, the king, the house mouse, and the closet gremlin. I got king.
I'll take house mouse, I suppose. God.
How come his is never bad and ours?
I know. Giant dick one, retard, and asshole.
Right. The worst they say is big penis.
Don says it's a cross you have to bear. Don says, I always make it a point to live the glory days of skating, dragging my fat ass around the roller rink during these school fundraising events he has to go to. Nothing like having the wind blowing through your thinning hair and sweat rolling down your hairy back to bring back old times of terrible light shows and 80s hairband music. My kids enjoy this almost as much as I do, and my 8-year-old son has got the chance to DJ the last 2 times we've gone.
DJ?
DJ. So he does these kid things through his school. I just hope he doesn't grow up to be the stock eater like you guys have in the studio. Oh, stock eater? Is that better than Closet Gremlin?
I don't really care.
No. This allows for my wife and I to influence the music that's being played, and this results in a lot of kids appearing lost when they hear Bon Jovi, Def Leppard, Whitesnake, Van Halen, and Alice Cooper for the first time. The upside to this is that the cougar moms and yoga pants, they come out. This music brings them out.
Yeah.
They come out of the food
It's
court.
like a snake charming.
Yes. Here comes the cougar in the yoga pants just slithering up.
Pour some sugar on me. Oh, this is my jam.
Out of the food court, and she's shuffling around the floor on her roller skates, living the glory days, says Don. The following is worth the price of admission. The music pulls the cougars out of their iPhone zombie-like state, and they flash back to younger days. Leather jackets and T-top Camaros. Moods change from protective mama bear to hot, sex-deprived cougar.
Nice.
The part my wife and I enjoy the most is watching them flirt with other dads. You always see a pissed-off, sloppy housewife in a muumuu and sweatpants yelling at her husband for talking to the now hot, sex-deprived cougar who's enjoying themselves like it's 1995 Daytona spring break. These poor guys have not seen a nice, clean vagine in years, and when one flirts with them, it cannot be helped. In closing, to the king, I encourage you to keep your ear to the ground for such an event in your area. This is not a guarantee that you will bear witness to such great entertainment, but if you do, good topics for the show. To the house mouse, I know you will not climb a mountain with your girlfriend, but I would pay good money to see you shoot the duck.
I don't think I could shoot said duck anymore.
Do you know what happened to the girl that climbed the mountain without her lazy boyfriend? Yeah, she's not missing. She went home with me, says Don.
Ooh.
That's a little weird remark.
Do yourself a favor and keep the cum dumpster away from little kids. You might feel the urge to make a deposit in the roller rink and not clean it up. Great show, guys.
You know what?
BUI.
Two things. One, I really despise the suggestion that he's pretty much called me a pedophile.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think overtly.
That's ridiculous.
That's just pretty much. Yeah, absolutely. I think it actually wrote there.
Yeah. One thing he did say in there was right, dude. It was so dead
you're
on.
a pedophile?
Cum dumpster is the taking those freaking cougars out of their iPhone
zombie case.
Dude, I hate nothing more than being like a line at the wherever and seeing a 40-year-old sitting here,
or like a 32-year-old.
No, a 45-year-old sitting here.
Why? What's wrong with that?
What is she on Twitter or fucking Instagram?
You care.
Off there.
Anybody over 35, he thinks does not deserve to be in any social media or involved at all with anything semi-cool or with it.
It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. It's stupid. What is she doing?
The King's Panoose writes in on the message board under the title, Projections How Eric Loses the Vegas Marathon.
Okay.
Completely disagree, but here he goes. The King's Panoose predicts, Eric will dial in too late and lose the race and your bike, King, before the race even starts. I'd like to offer a suggestion that will be entertaining for all of us, and possibly prevent that anal penetration from happening after the lost bet. So this is helpfully. I mean, this is just some helpful advice. Big E, if you reads this, as soon as you realize you have no chance of winning this bet, which will happen within the first 10 minutes, shit your pants. Don't stop behind a tree. Don't duck into a porta-john. Just keep your stride and let loose the bowels. Finish the race and wear your accomplishment proudly for all to see. It will make for a great TDC story if you care about TDC at all. And I guarantee no human will want to stick anything in your stinksing, filthy bungus after that. You might be onto something. Will you let it fly during that? This is a serious thing, dude.
Of course I would.
All right.
I'm not stopping.
Okay. He's not stopping. He's shitting his pants.
I believe him, too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure a lot of people would say that, but if push came to shove, I would stop for sure.
Not if I know where, especially, unless for some reason I really had a feeling that I was way ahead of this. I'd have to be, which would be hard to tell.
You never assume that.
Right.
You get to the line.
Yeah.
You do not stop.
I mean, it'd have to be short of me literally see this guy fall down and break an ankle or something. I don't know.
No,
which
even then
impossible.
you shit your pants.
Right.
Tim writes in, good evening, Supreme Ruler. That's me.
I'll take that.
I got that. You're Prouder Willie poster child. Sorry.
Thank you.
It doesn't, it only applies to you. Yeah. And the stinksing gloid.
The what?
Stinksing gloid.
As in mong.
Mongo. Yeah. This afternoon, I was leaving a meeting in Lansing. I was walking through the parking garage to get my vehicle. As I approached my vehicle, some movement in the van parked next to my car caught my attention. As I looked a little bit closer, I had the unfortunate experience of seeing a guy laying across the backseat of the van, furiously beating off.
Oh my God.
Dude,
what's wrong with people? You still want to avoid my island?
So I quickly got in my car and left to avoid having to witness the spectacle any longer. I know that Big E, it probably doesn't seem wrong. If anything, it probably causes him to harken back to a simpler time when his only concern in life was throwing a seed in the back of the Astrovan while traversing between Civil War battlefields. But to me, this was just another good example of the fact that these creeps walk amongst us. Absolutely. On the plus side, I had the Detroit Cast to listen to on my drive home, which helped me forget about the horrific images seared on my brain, probably seared some other horrific ones on there.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work, guys. It doesn't matter if it's AM, FM, XM, or the internet. The Detroit Cast is the best there is. Goodbye, BUI. Tim.
Thank you,
Tim.
Sir. Very cool.
Chandler writes back. He was our buddy from yesterday, 15-year-old high school student.
Yeah, I
wrote
love
in.
Chandler. Yeah.
And I believe under your suggestion, Mike, he's
Eyes and
reporting
ears.
back on the state of affairs in his high school concerning the potential TOEIC.
I love it.
Hey, guys, and Mike wanted to know about any hot teachers in my school. I wouldn't say there are any 10s, but I have to say there are 3 or 4 teachers that are TOEIC worthy. Also, there's one substitute teacher. There's always that one.
Oh, yeah. That's the one you got to look out for.
That
That's the one you make your move on, bro.
You've got to make your move on.
Yeah.
that.
Connor,
She's not
was it?
there all the time.
Chandler.
Make your move on that substitute. That's going to be your best in.
Yeah.
If you're looking to go that route.
He says there's one substitute teacher that I've seen around school a couple times that I have to say is a 9 or so. I can try and find pictures of these teachers if you'd like. Yes,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Nude,
Also, preferably nude.
Also, I don't believe there's any Congress going on between students and teachers, but I'll keep my eyes and ears open.
Yeah.
Love the show. Keep up the good work. You guys get me through the school day.
That's awesome.
You can learn more in here than school anyway.
Absolutely. This is real life shit.
World of
right
rights.
here.
Yeah.
Practical
You're not
knowledge.
gonna.
right here.
Yeah,
Practical.
that's the. Anybody can be book
Book
smart.
smart, yeah.
Right?
Get some
street smarts.
Pays dividends. Hey, we'll save the rest for tomorrow.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the show. What do you got?
Friday, the Laugh Tracks and Novi. I
There we
remember.
go.
And next Saturday.
Next Saturday in Flint.
In Flint. Just somewhere in Flint. You'll find
I'll
them.
find out next week.
Okay.
Drive north
Laugh Tracks and Novi, 8 o'clock Friday. Does that sound right?
Yeah, 8:30.
or whatever.
8:30. Okay. Well, thanks for hanging with the show, everybody. We really appreciate it. Let's do it tomorrow on an all-new Friday edition of the Detroit Cast.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch you grow. You know not what remains shallow. Understand.